Hey everyone, just wanted to kind of fill you in before you get to the actual video here. I messed up on recording. I hit stream and it didn't automatically record, and um, just to kind of catch you up to speed, I was going over what we had spoke about. There was about 30 minutes lost in the stream and the recording. Just kind of going over what we had went through on the first episode with BAFSAF, episode one, where we were talking about just introductory, post COVID changes and effects. I also had mentioned that we had a very good success rate with the first video that I'm like honestly still geeking out about. We had up till now 37 views on the YouTube video, so really good, really good. I can't thank you guys enough for showing the support. So where you're jumping into this upcoming stream that I recorded and edited, it's just kind of getting into the mix of the topic of motivation. um Really, I just wanted to kind of allow everyone to understand why I chose the topic. Speaking on the changes what we said in the previous video, and just how far it got, and how deep the conversation had went. I felt it very, very appropriate to kind of get into the topic of motivation. You know, it's a very big thing for a lot of people. Like for me, I was years unmotivated, and now I'm doing a lot with my life now. So I hope you're able to enjoy what we had to offer. I feel like I'm very confident it's another good episode. So if you like what you see, or if you like the experience that we provided, let me know in the comments. Spread the love, spread the positivity, and enjoy. I started to I stopped checking myself on why just like I don't know. I guess I just stopped care. I guess stopped caring because I didn't want to beat myself up anymore, and I told myself I wasn't going to do it, so I just stopped caring. Um, and I didn't want to feel that way, so I stopped feeling it. But as time passed, I started to come out of that cocoon of toxicity, and I was like, okay, you know what? It's time for a change. It's time to do something different. So I started to find ways to really just like focus on that. So um, I ended up going. No, I ended up listening to. I got into like EDM and dubstep. A good friend of mine, a few friends actually. I was already listening to it, but like I got deeper into it, and I actually ended up going to a concert as well, which really helped. And I was like, okay, this is like I was rejuvenated to wanna pursue music and DJing again. So I was like, all right, bet. So I actually ended up getting it's back there. That bad boy, the SB2. Um, Started figuring that out. Got a speaker, and yeah, I had the chance to DJ a house party, and I did okay there. Um, DJ'd a friend's wedding, did pretty good there, and then had some downtime. Mm, and then time progressed. Ended up DJing two country concerts. One was a country concert, one was a country rap concert. That was fun. Different. Not so much. It definitely succeeded. It exceeded, sorry, my expectations for what I was like getting into. Like I've never heard country rap until I was recruited to do the concert, and then I was hearing music as I was on the way there, and I was like, wow. And then to see and hear them perform live, I was like, oh, okay, newfound respect. So uh, point of all this is that what started to really get me going again is that I immersed myself in what I wanted to pursue, and I think I had lost that generalization to do so um, down the line. And I think that that's one of the key things that you got to do with yourself if you're lacking motivation. You just like really immerse it, and if you're immersed in that particular subject or whatever have you, and you find yourself still not wanting to do anything, maybe try some different outlets. But I also take a maybe just take a step back, not a break, but take a step back. Just kind of see like try to allow yourself to understand why it is that you may be feeling kind of like misplaced with that particular. But I mean, there's different ways to feel a lack of motivation, or maybe it's not work related, maybe it's not career related, maybe it's just like getting through life. And mind you, as I'm discussing this, I understand that a lack of motivation, lack of energy, and then depression are two different things. And this episode is by no means minimalizing anyone who has mental illness, depression, anxiety. Again, I understand there's a very big gap between lack of motivation and depression. What you struggle with, whatever you've been diagnosed with and you struggle with, I understand. This is mainly for anyone who feels like they kind of need like a pep in their stuff, like maybe just like a helping hand to kind of get back on track, because I understand like there's certain outlets for depression and anxiety that's completely different. If you do find this helpful, I would like to know. I would really like to know, because it's again, I'm no therapist, and I'm not keen on the illnesses of depression and anxiety, and I don't know why I'm calling them illnesses. The With that, but I'd like to know if this was helpful, or if there's anything that you'd like me to do to kind of help in that general area, because I would like to do the research to do so. I mean, there's never a time where you can't learn too much or more, and I mean that kind of thing is just a couple clicks away and some scrolling to do. But yeah, I definitely would look forward into doing that if this was any helpful to anyone um, with those conditions. So, um, yeah, what helped me is that I was immersing myself into. I feel like I trailed off and stopped, but I feel like I'll jump back. Um, Immersion, to immerse yourself into that, and I mean, if you find yourself still out of place, I would take a step back. Um, Maybe kind of like dig back into why you started something in the first place. Like, look, kind of get back into the basics. Like, for instance, if it's, let's just say it's just life, like you're kind of stuck, you don't know where to go, what to do. You may have um, some skills, some opportunities on the table, but you just don't know where you're going or what to do. Just start doing some research. Just kind of like get a general idea of what you want in life, take some notes, and do research around those notes. Like maybe it's time for a new location. See what locations will accommodate you. Like, and how deep do you want to go? Do you have a specific weather type that you like that's in your favor? Is there a certain weather that you'd want to stay away from? Terrain, work environment, like street congestion, all that comes into play because I mean, a lot. I feel like part of the motivation is that there may be some clutter mentally or energetically within you, and it will help to kind of alleviate that from yourself the best way possible. Sometimes a move is helpful. I am a homebody. I don't like to go nowhere outside the city. When I say homebody, like where I was born and raised is where I like to be. That's where I'm comfortable at. Like there's been so many people trying to get me, and I've been out. Like, again, I've been out. I was in Texas for a few years. I've been to Florida a couple times, but it took a while for me to feel comfortable with wanting to leave. Because even when I leave, I'm just like, I want to go back home just for a little bit, and then I know how to enjoy myself. But maybe relocating might help. Um, I've learned to mentally isolate my oops. I learned to mentally isolate myself when it came to trying to stay motivated. And sometimes it physically as well. Sometimes you gotta do that. You got a group of friends that you're used to hanging out with all the time. Take a step back. Let them know, like, hey, I just gotta, I'm really trying to focus on something here. Um, and if they're your real friends or true friends, they'll understand. They'll get it. But if anyone's giving you any problems, you may just want to kind of keep it distance for a little bit, for a little longer, and just kind of put them on the list or in the notes of maybe changes to be made. Um, another another thing that might help is that when you're doing your research, try to find some inspiration. I know whether you have social media or not, a lot of times you'll see people posting. There's two types of people. There's people who post inspirational quotes, and then there's other people who post life quotes, whether they be indirect or indirect. Try to remain in the inspirational aspect. I would try to steer away from the ones where they talk about life, and there's always some like underlining consequence when it comes to those life quotes. But try to find the inspirational quotes, and it's easy to Google inspirational quotes, and you'll get them. I'm pretty sure there's some apps that can give you daily inspirational quotes that may help. But don't depend on those, because those are to help push you to get through the day, to get out of bed, or to go to sleep with a thought process to maybe push a dream or to stay positive through sleep so you can wake up positive. Whatever the process is, you do not get stuck on those inspirational quotes though, because they're there for you in times of need, not to live on as a daily sermon like the Bible. Because things change, life changes, and like not everything's gonna apply to you. So I wouldn't force anything to apply to yourself. But like if you're reading something and you feel your heart, you'll feel it internally when you're reading it. You may have experienced it yourself. When you're reading something like an inspirational quote, or you're seeing something on TV or on the screen, and something feels like it's inspirational to you, you'll feel it internally. You just feel this burst, like something just opens up, and you just feel it rush through your body and under your skin, and you just feel vulnerable for a moment. Follow that. Let that be your driving force to continue whatever it is, because that's letting you know that there's opportunity within you to continue that, to continue your journey onward, and you're not alone. But never. I would treat inspirational quotes like like I would with anyone who's like big on like astrology, like zodiacs and everything. Don't do that. Don't be that person. And actually, let me not tell you what to do. So, just don't be the person who wakes up every morning thinking that their astrology message is going to be their life message. Like you got to be able to take certain parts of that to just feel good, but continue your life journey being able to live it how you live it. Don't live it by the words that you see in print. Okay, you have so much more to do with yourself than to live by words on print. That's just to help you get by, to feel good, but you have the absolute tools within you to live outside of that print. And of those zodiac astrology readings or inspirational quotes that you see on social media. What also helped me is that I'll make small mementos. So, for instance, if I'm at work, me being me wanting to do music or DJing, like for music, I'll hear a beat in my head, okay, and I'll just like play it out with my mouth, right? Or play it out with whatever's in my hand or on the table, whatever surface I have, and I'll just let that loop. My issue is that if I let it loop, I start to forget it. It starts to not be how I heard it the first time. And then the more I try to remember it, the more I lose it. Like a dream. When you wake up from a dream and you're trying to remember it, some of you may know what I'm talking about. When you're dreaming, or no, after you dream and you wake up, when you start to try to piece together what you can remember, you start to lose more. So you just stop. That's how it will be for me. And what I started doing is that like all of our cell phones, smartphones, you have like an audio recorder. If not, you can download a free app. Like you can just record audio. I would do that. I would just verbalize how I want the beat to sound. So when I'm ready to go, when I get home on the equipment, I can play that back and just be like, oh, okay. And just lay it out in general and then tweak it how I really want it to sound. So that's helped me. I would also suggest acting in the moment. Like if you have the opportunity to act in the moment with like if you get a burst of motivation, like okay, I'm ready. I want to do this. Like I can do it right now. Do it right now. Like if you're an artist and if you're the drawing type, get that pad and been writing utensil or drawing utensil out. If you're a writer, if you do novels, books, comics, whatever it is, start writing. Doesn't matter what you write it on, start writing. Get that flow going. Write everything out that you need to. Um, Designing, just like you can use it as long as you have a legible utensil, you can write on anything. As long as you can take that with you, oh yeah, do it. Don't write on work company equipment. Don't write on public equipment that you can't take with you because then you're just gonna lose it. And don't ever write anything with permanent marker. Remember what you're writing with before you make any jot anything down. Um, I mean, just whatever it is that you do when you're feeling that motivation to do it, and you can act in the moment, do your best to do so. Or like if you're close to home and you're like, oh, if you're out with friends, like, hey, I gotta go now. I'm feeling it. I gotta go. If you got good friends, they'll understand. They'll root for you. Um, and that'll be the way to go. I understand, like, if I'm saying what I'm saying on this subject, a lot of it will sound easier said than done. Trust me, I get it. Because I would sit there and pump myself up verbally, or like even the list of methods to overcome a lack of motivation. I've gotten to the point to where I'm ready to sit in front of the screen and put my fingers to the pad, and as soon as I'm looking at it, I'm just like, oh, well, I won't do it no more. And I get it. It's easier said than done, but this is where discipline comes into play because what you don't want to do is beat yourself up. You don't want to be too hard on yourself if you lose that drive after having it. Like if you get a spark of motivation and then you go get in that element of being able to just do whatever it is that you had the motivation to do. And then as soon as you're getting ready to do it, or even in the middle of it, you're just like, huh. And you kind of stop and then you think, and then you overthink, and then you distract yourself putting on a phone or a book or eating. When you're making excuses not to continue working, I've done that. I do it today. You just got to be able to discipline yourself to be like, no, stop. Just take a moment. Oh, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Just take a moment to what? You have my audio. Take a moment to just kind of like just be in the moment. Just all right. I'm starting to feel that drive lost. What do I need to do? What do you need to do to get yourself going? Oh, what up? Okay, Big Bear. I like the name. I like the name. Well, thanks for hanging in, man. Good to see you. Um, so yeah, if you feel yourself in that moment where that drive is there and you feel it starting to sink, and you're just like, okay, just take a moment to be like, all right, don't pick anything up, don't look to anything else, don't tell yourself you're hungry, don't grab that phone, don't look, just take a moment, just stop, take a breath, close your eyes if you have to, just take a breath, and just figure out, just slowly inch your way back in. Don't force yourself, don't beat yourself up, just take time, just take it step by step. So let's say, for instance, in my position, I'm making a track, I'm feeling it, but what I do is I overthink one small particular piece where I'm just like, if I don't figure this out, I can't move on. That's bad move. What I should be doing is put that on hold because it's structure based. Making a song is structure based. However, you start is not how you need to finish. And there's always a way of flow. Like I won't sit there and knock anyone's flow of work. Mine, I just gotta whatever I think first. Like I can sit there listen to the beat. So I got the snare, I got the drums, I got the kick, and then I can go for a melody. Or I'll have the melody and I just need to find the beat. So if I realize that I find myself stuck on one part of the track that I can easily just go, I'll come back to it. I just gotta stop myself, be like, all right, hold up. I'll I'll remind myself that I'm in that moment, that I'm in that headspace. And I just go, okay, I have to tell myself this is discipline now. I got to tell myself, okay, I'll come back to it. It's hard at first because if you feel like that drive is telling you to try to figure that one thing out, don't allow yourself to one deplete that motivation and also your energy to be stuck because then that frustration kicks in. Frustration is such a big hit on motivation and energy. You don't want that. So I would just you really just tell yourself, all right, I know I want to finish this. I'm gonna finish it. I'll come back to it because what you're gonna do now is that you're gonna look at all the easier stuff. You're gonna knock out all the easier stuff. So you're prioritizing backwards. So if that so for instance on the song, if I'm working on one part of the song and I know I really need to get that, I'm gonna work on the little stuff. Knock all that out. Because as you're working on the little stuff, you may change the big part, the major part, and you go, "Oh, I didn't waste time. I got something new on my hands." And guess what? Art, motivation. I just felt it myself. I'm not even doing anything. That fire will burn brighter. You'll be like, okay, you'll want to keep going. You just got to be able to alleviate. This may help you. You got to be able to alleviate the clutter within your head and your heart. You got to be able to tell yourself. You have to check yourself sometimes. I know a lot of times we like someone to check us, most of us, but sometimes you got to check yourself to say, all right, you know what? Table it. Um, and what really helped me is, like I said before, I would really beat myself up about not doing anything in that moment, in the day, in the week, in the month, and I was very toxic to myself. I was not fair to myself at all whatsoever. What I would also suggest is self affirmation, self positive affirmation, and say it out loud. You may look like you're talking to yourself, big deal, because you are. If you feel like if you're not the one to listen to anyone, listen to yourself, well, then it's time for you to say it out loud. Because if you're talking in your head, nothing's coming out. Think of it as like manifestation. You have to manifest what you want. So if you keep things in, you're not going to be able to see it out. Thoughts are in here. You won't be able to foresee your future out for anyone to enjoy, for you to publish. For me, if it's a song. So if I'm sitting here thinking and thinking and thinking, I'm not letting that escape. I'm never gonna let anyone hear what I've got to play. And I've done that so many times. Like there a list of songs where I'm just like, you know what? I'll come back to it. because I was so frustrated. I let myself stick on one particular thing on the track and I stopped. I completely stopped. I didn't just move to a different thing. I stopped. I said, you know what? Tomorrow. Tomorrow was a month later. A month later was 3 months later. 3 months later, I forgot all about it. Honestly, I forgot about it after the first month, but I looked at it. No, I didn't. I didn't look at it. That's the thought process when you're trying to stick on one thing. You gotta check yourself. So when I say self affirmation, instead of beating yourself up by like, you know what? We got this far. Let's go ahead and just take a break. Don't say come back to it. Don't say tomorrow. Don't give yourself a suggested time frame. Let's just take a break. As you're taking your break, just kind of, do what you got to do to loosen up or just stress relief. Just, for me, I got to breathe. I got to move my shoulders. I got to snap my neck. I got to pop my back, do the fingers. um, I just got to breathe and I have to stop thinking about it for a second. The thought is in the back of my mind. I won't completely remove the idea or thought. I just, I need to put it back. It has to be out of sight, out of mind. But I just need a moment to free that space, clarify, just kind of clarity. Just kind of you just open back up. I'm so tense. I'm so stressed. You got to think of your thought process in your mind as a contrasting and constricting and contrasting. I I'm really lost on the words, but it opens and closes. Contracts. Yeah. it, it contracts, expands and contracts. I Anyway, um, when you're adding more stress and pressure on yourself, you're really contracting in your ability to focus. So all those thoughts that are bouncing around in your head, they're bouncing around more and more and more, causing more what? Clutter. So when you have clutter, you can't focus, you can't think straight. You have to keep that expanded as much as possible. And I've been there where sometimes you're just like, ooh, okay, take a break. Breathe it, walk it off. Like what helped me is when I would step away, walk around the house. If you're in nice weather, step outside. Walk if you have a driveway, walk up and down the driveway, just walk around the front yard, walk on the but whatever helps you clear your mind, do that. Walk it off. That really helped me because if I'm walking it off, I'm letting that steam out. I'm letting that energy out, that pent up energy that's really got you tough, that's really got you frustrated. You're getting it out little by little. You just gotta just like loosen up and then talk yourself through it. Okay, I'm frustrated right now. I can't figure it out. Ooh. Don't use any negative words. Don't beat yourself up. I mean, if you're the cussing type, as long as it's helping you get that stress off your chest, do that. I mean, not around kids, but in the comfort and an appropriate environment, let it out, and make sure you're not cussing no one out. Be nice, but like I said, do what you got to do. Let that energy out. Speak it out. It's frustrating me. I can't get it. I don't know why I can't get it. Like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What you're gonna do now is you're gonna play the steps that you did over and over and over. You don't want to do that. Take it one step at a time and really play out in detail everything that you did because chances are you might have missed something or you might think of adding in something to, you're creating opportunities to add into this system that you've got to work things out. And just okay. So here scenario. All right. What I do wrong? I could have added this in to make it sound like that, but I'm not. Oh, the right plugin. Like I don't know. I don't know. What am I doing wrong? Okay. So if I added this track onto this line and I play it, I'm supposed to be on this BPM and it's supposed to line up like this. Oh, I need to line it up. That's how mine would go. I kind of like that. But point is that when you work out the process in your head step by step, you're most likely going to figure out where it went wrong or how you can figure it out. And it's not going to happen. It may not happen within 5 minutes. Don't expect a time frame. Just kind of take it as you need to. Even if you need to go back to where whatever it is you're doing, you just sit with it and you just look. Don't even think about anything, just look. Sometimes when you're without thought and you're looking at what you want, the answer is right in front of you. It'd be right in front of you. And it's those moments where you just go, but hey, you figured it out. No need for the negative discipline. There's no need for discipline at all. Hey, you figured it out. Sometimes, and this is the way to look at life too. Sometimes we just need to take a step back and just look at something. No reaction, no action, just look at it. Chances are you might see it in a different point of view. Chances are you might be able to understand whether it's something you invest in or you table it. Just kind of step back, take a moment, and just hmm. Like think of it as like how people would at an art gallery. They just like they get a natural feel. Look at the bigger picture. There you go. Yes, thank you. Like, yeah, yeah, okay. Don't know why it was taking forever to get to that. So yeah, you just gotta like you gotta feel it. And this is me. I have the biggest issue when it comes to letting my thoughts be the control. Um, I stopped being able to feel things out. Because I'm logical and kind of literal. Things have to make sense. I have to be able to put it together. I have to be able to just like break it down and put it back together. I'm like a numbers and a puzzles man. So if I can't, I'm trying to figure it out in my head. And that's where the problem starts, is because it's in my head. If I don't speak it out, I can't figure it out. A lot of times I can figure things out in my head, but when I'm really stuck on something, I have to really talk it out. And I realize it helped me out a lot. It may for you. If not, there's other methods and opportunities, but definitely just take a moment to feel something different. Um, Another method that I found helpful, um, get you a pack of sticky notes. Take with you wherever you go. Get a pen with it. Write. Just write. Take little notes. However you can, however you need to. Make sure they're legible. Make sure, because what I like to do, I like to write notes down and think I'm gonna remember exactly what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm like, what am I saying? And I'm just like, ooh, trash. Figure it out later, and I don't ever remember it. A good idea gone. um, Another thing that helped me through this is that writing down goals and plans. Like, so if you're struggling with whatever it is, like for instance, if I'm if it's hitting me heavy that I just can't really continue to construct a beat, a song, or if I'm struggling with a mix, I just can't get it right, or even in gaming, if I'm just like, can't get this, something, I just can't get this. I stop stressing myself out about things like that. I just take a step back. But what I like to do every now and then is reassess my goals, my plans. Like, understand things don't always happen as you plan them. And making a plans B through Z can help. But when you get to Z, are you telling yourself to start back at A, start back at one, or do you start making hieroglyphics? You got to understand that things aren't always going to go as you want them to. That was a huge pill for me to swallow as well. Things aren't always going to go as you want them to, and that is perfectly fine. You, as a growing, maturing human being, need to understand adaptation is key. You have to adapt to life. You can't expect things to go exactly how you want them to. You have to be able to adapt. So you have to be able to assess a situation and go, okay, this didn't happen. And as Nick said, you have to look at the bigger picture. Is there a bigger picture? Always. Is it the picture you want? Probably not. But there's a bigger picture. So for instance, let's say, okay, let's just make it easy. Let's say I had a gig and it's one I really wanted. It's with the lineup of artists that I really wanted to be around, and I'm just like so pumped, so amped. Got the mix ready, got my equipment ready, and they're like, you know what? The guy that we've been waiting on is actually feeling better now. He's gonna go ahead and do it. You were the fill-in. Sorry, but you can still go to the concert free. Okay. Uh, all that hard work that I just put into performing, and I'm being replaced as the replacement. Like, and I get it. I get into the concert for okay. This is me acting out, by the way. Okay, so you understand how frustrating that would be for someone who has put in all the work, time, and effort, and then someone's like, "Nah, not today." That's super frustrating. Completely understandable. But the plus is you get into the concert free. You're just like, I don't want that. I wanted to be up there on stage. Okay. So here's a few things to think. Maybe it just wasn't your time. Now, I know that's a vague, broad statement to make. Not everyone likes to hear it because some people think that's just like overly spiritual or just very, like half glass half empty, half full. But like understand what it really means. Maybe it really wasn't because if you would have went up there, something may have happened. You may have clammed up. It you never know because it's an unknown, but that's a good way to start your think process because you'll get comfortable with it. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. All right. And you'll laugh it off because you'll train yourself to understand that there's other ways to think about it. All good, player, because you know what? I didn't actually start recording until like 20 minutes ago, and I'm already an hour and 12 minutes in. I looked up and saw that it was streaming but not recording. So, and see, look, perfect right here. I realized late in the game of this stream, we black, so they already know. Yeah, we late. I was late. So I realized late in the stream that even though I'm streaming, my ass isn't recording. Whoops, because I have to post this on YouTube. So what I do? Well, I try to I try to spin the conversation in a sense that anyone can pick up on. So, they missed a little bit of life insight, but you know what? Here's another way I'm thinking about it. A lot of the information I gave at the beginning of the stream, I already gave in the first video. So, you didn't really miss much if you watched the first video. Thanks for the 37 views. Um, but back to the back to the topic at hand. Thanks for stopping by, Shawn. Nick's here. Say hi to Nick. Um, what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, so think of it in a bigger picture. So yeah, I had to adjust and adapt to the fact that I missed hitting the record button on this stream. So you got to be able to adapt to some changes. Things aren't always going to be as you want them to be. So if you have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, well, expect to have no plans. Things can happen. Things happen, and that's all right. Don't let it stress you out. You just gotta. And again, I had issues with my anger. So sometimes when things didn't go how I wanted them to, how I planned them in my mind, how because me being the logical, literal person and the math ain't mathin' when it didn't go the way I wanted it to, I would internally rage. Breathe it out. And I had to learn to just kind of like take a step back physically and just go, okay. When you take that first breath out, you're allowing a lot of that clutter to relieve. You relieve yourself of that clutter. Not all gone, but you're giving yourself a moment to just, all right, what do we do now? And from there, take another breath. All right. So this is where we're at. Assess the situation now. Now you assess the situation. And then when you've assessed the situation, you can start to piece together what it all is that you need to do from there. So you're starting to put things back on track. Um, so that kind of goes in play because I'm kind of getting off track myself. When you're writing down, okay, there we go. When you're writing down goals and plans, you have to understand that they may not all go accordingly. So when you're writing them down, also think of a way to adapt to each of those plans. You're not making a plan B, you're making an adaptation. So let's say I plan, for example, I plan to go to a birthday party. Well, a lot of factors come into play to go on this birthday party. How's my car? How's my transportation? How's the weather? Who's all going to this party? Can I trust what's going to happen at this party? How long is it going to be? Do I have work in the morning? What do I need to do tomorrow? Um, and you adapt around those notes. Take those notes. You adapt around those notes. So I said, "What? How's my car? Is the gas filled up? Did I change the oil recently? Are my tires good? Have I been hearing any weird noises in my car that I need to be aware of?" Okay, so if any of those is a yes, and you think, all right, second mode of transportation, are you thinking Uber, Lyft, taxi, friend, family, walking, biking, flying, like me? Because you know, highlight. Anyway, um, um, like that. And when it comes to going to parties in a city, and you've been around city folk, some people have some sketchy circles. As you get older, you tend to ask, who all gonna be there? Because we don't got time for the drama. We don't have time for the BS. I don't want to treat going to a party like I do going downtown to the clubs. I gotta be on alert, looking at everybody. And everyone's like, bro, chill out. No, you chill out. There was a shooting last week. Why are we here? What happens? I got home safe. Be alert. But yeah, so adaptation, writing goals, writing plans, set them realistically. So don't. Here's what I did with myself. I told myself in a 10-year span, I would have made something of myself musically, artistly, and I'm retiring in 10 years. I'm 2 years in. This is where I'm at. I did not think I would be the streaming type. I didn't think I'd be the streaming person. I'm streaming now. Year two, I'm streaming. I just took a different turn. I'm not done. I just took a different turn because things change. I'm the dad. I'm the stay-at-home husband. Wife works. I got the kids. So I felt like the changes that we made into our life set in motion the changes that were going to be from my life in a good way. So now I have them on a schedule. I got them doing their thing. And when it's time for me to do my thing, while they're taken care of, they've been fed, they've been clean, they've been changed, whatever it is. I can focus on my stuff. Um, and again, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. It's all right. If you miss a day, it's all right. Not the end of the world. Again, things change. If you got a super huge job and you missed a deadline and you got fired, it's okay. It sucks that you got fired, but it's all right. Take a moment, feel that, figure it out. Take the time you need, but don't take too much time because then life escapes you. You don't know what's going on. Then you're depressed because life escaped you. You lost your job, and then you're stuck. on the vicious circle that you were put in, that you keep yourself in. I got fired. Okay, plenty of jobs out there. If you're telling yourself that you're too good to work at McDonald's, understand that some of these people are making $15, $19 an hour. You're never too good to work anywhere. You don't know how to cook, I suggest you go to McDonald's. Figure out how to use the grill. I'm not trying to be mean. I understand people's situations are different. I'm not trying to be mean at all. I'm being weirdly funny. Take a detour. It's just, things happen and you can't be the type of person to sit there and sulk in your devastation. I've done that. I don't want to do that ever again. Waste of time. Where I'm at now, I'm getting so much done. I'm busy, but that's good. I need to be busy because if I'm not busy, I'm sitting there doing nothing. Like, man, I should be doing something with my day. Now I'm doing something with my day. Here for y'all. I'm here with y'all. Thanks so much. But yeah, that's just so. I'll go over everything because I was kind of all over the place. So, methods of motivation that I felt helpful to myself: isolation. Pull yourself away from friends and family. Say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna need a little bit. I gotta work on this. I gotta do this. If they're that supportive of you, hey, do your thing. Check in. We'll check in. Make sure you're still alive. Just we'll be here. Okay. Take things at a step at a time. Don't just throw yourself in. Don't completely stop. Just break it down. However wide you need to. If there's a 3-step process to do something, make it 10. Because I've worked in IT. That was my most recent job, and I come to understand if you don't take a moment to look at what you got going on, you'll miss it. And here's the kicker: people have missed it. This is the question that we had to ask when we're doing IT. Is your computer powered on? No. Can you turn it on? No. Is it plugged in? Of course it's plugged in, but you know what? It was unplugged. Boom. Check that. And you know why? It's because people have kids, people have pets, and sometimes they do things and they don't realize that like you move some furniture and goes the outlet. It happens. But you have to be able to check step by step. It's almost like, how you learn when you get in the car, have you have to check your mirrors, put your seatbelt on, check everyone's seatbelt. You got to check things. You got to check your car before you get to drive. A mental checklist doesn't hurt for most things in your life. And especially as you progress, a mental checklist for anything can be in a matter of 2 seconds. Like I can sit here and look at my computer and make sure everything's plugged in. Boom. Not even a whole second. But if I slow it down, power, all my USB stuff, screen's clearly working because mic blowing. Boom, checklist already done. Same with your car. You go outside your car, check your tires, kick it a little bit. All of them still got air. Nice. Side of your mirror still intact. No one hit them overnight. Awesome. Check the inside of your car. Is the console open? Anything missing? No. Good. Checklist over. Seatbelt on. All right. Gas. Oop, forgot to fill up last night. Let's go ahead and do that. See, mental checklist. So quick. If it's routine, it can be quick. It's not a burden. It's something you should be doing because adaptation is key in life. Say it with me now. Adaptation. I am a fool. All right. So I see we got some browse on fleek. I did them before I got on. We have some viewers. We have Mr. Nick and our returning viewer Shawn is in the building. Does anybody want to hop on and share some insight on motivation? Do you lack it, or can you give some words of wisdom? Anybody want to hop on with your boy? Let me know in the chat what you want to do. Nick, you got a mic or a camera? Or a camera and or a mic? I like this. The mute button's right here and it's a touch. I made it. There you go. Look, I made it. Bet, bet. Okay. Let's see. Uh, and seeing as how it's just the three of us, we got some time to talk. I could probably get you both on here at the same time, but I'll probably just do one at a time. I figured. I figured. Okay. All right. Sent you an invite. Let me know if you get that, and then we should be able to bring you on. Magic Mike, yeah. Ah, the magic. All right. Yeah. Accept the request. I need to go get my chapstick real quick. My lips is ugh. I remember how I used to be with chapstick. Always had it on hand. Well, I lost mine, but bam, 3 pack. Classic cherry. Intro and outro. Oh, yeah. Wait, for me, right? On here? We have an everlasting relationship. Yeah, no, I've been thinking about that. An intro music wise, yeah. I've actually yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Because I have it labeled as a screen pause before the stream actually start. Well, I start the stream, but before I actually get on, I have a like at the 55 mark. I have it where it says like the stream will commence momentarily. I won't put music behind that and edit it up a little bit. So yeah, definitely. Thanks for suggesting that. And then yeah, outro, yeah, a good 5 minute. What I was thinking as a good idea, just a gimmick, is for the outro, I'll mute my mic and like start tapping on some papers like it's a like a news station. Hold on. I got you up here, but yeah, now I gotta. Yeah, yeah. Oh, uh, there we go. The button was right in front of me. See? Take a step back. The button said move to stream, and I missed it. My dumb. Oh, wait. No negative reinforcement. At least I found it. All right, we've got Mr. Nick in the building. Tell us about yourself, Nick. Hmm. How bit no, but so Nick, we met same place as me and Shawn met at the hookah bar. Me and Nick go way back. He's been a very good friend of mine and one of the most supportive people you'll ever meet. Um, Nick, what are you doing these days? Are you still at the liquor store? Whoa. You do? Oh, okay. Hold on. Sean's saying that the volume's messed up. Okay, yeah. You're low. No, it's not you. But that's okay. I'll keep you on. I'll just tell everyone what you're saying. Interpreter. Oh, Sean says it happens on Discord, Bluetooth all the time. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Well, that's all right. So this is this is Nick. You may hear him, but if not, that's all right. I'll be speaking on his behalf because I can hear him for some reason. So so I appreciate you joining the stream and watching and interacting, even though we're having some audio difficulties on your end. What 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 brings you here today, other than wanting to support? Is this topic something that draws you in, or did you feel like you could provide some words of wisdom? How do you do with motivation? Do you have moments where you lack it, or do you think that you have some insight to give people who have some issues with that? He's giving me some insight on. So he also had some issues with motivation during college. He was having some defeat when it came to scoring just under the cap of passing with tests and getting those scores for passing through college. What did you do in that time to kind of keep yourself going? So Nick is saying that he changed majors and he said that he felt more comfortable. You would say? Okay, so in the in the event that he was seeing himself unable to pass classes that he was enrolled in for college, he took it upon himself to go ahead and switch up majors, which he then was able to see more success and also a better route to getting the success that he was looking at. And this was actually piggybacking on his initial comment earlier on in the stream, is that you have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. He went and achieved the bigger picture. Would you agree? Okay, so you didn't get stuck. That's good to hear. So you were seeing adversity, and instead of being stuck on trying to push yourself through it, you understood that it may not be the best route. So you took it upon yourself to step away but stay in the grind. You stayed in school, but you stepped away from the major, and you were still able to see success in graduating. Nice. Nice. Graduates bachelor's. Honors in Kumar? Like Harold and Kumar? Oh, Kun Lao? Kung Lao like Mortal Kombat? Okay. Okay, how do you really say it? Sorry. Kun Cum laude. Okay. I was gonna say African. Is it Latin? Okay. Cum laude has different tiers of GPA. Okay. Okay. And and you got the highest honor? Oh, not a 4.0. So you had like a 3.0 to 3.5? Oh, okay. Oh, so you like middle notch then. So you were like 3.5 to 3.9. Okay. Masters 3.8 GPA. Damn, okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Failure. Right. Awesome. Congrats to graduating. That's awesome. Wow. Okay. So, just to kind of go over the detail again here. Thank you everyone for your patience through this. So, he had faced adversity by not being able to pass in the specific major that he had initially started in. Um, Taking a step back, looking at things differently, he saw that he could achieve the same outcome by going a different route. So he chose a different path, but the same destination was clear. A lot clearer now that he had made the change in majors, graduated with the cum laude honors, and he got master's and bachelor's. You said right? Bachelor and then master. Okay, awesome. Wow. What's the 1 year master's program? Oh, so they cram. Oh, so it's a cram. Because he's an overachiever. You had credit hours and intern hours. Oh, that sounds like a lot. Excuse me, did you say 240 hours of hands on the job hours? Jeez. For the whole year, okay. Yeah. Oh, wait a second. That's not a lot. I just actually did the math on that. You said 240. That's 2 months, right? Oh, okay. Your life outside of it. Okay. So you had to accomplish a intern hours of 240, but you had to break that down because of the life outside of what you were already trying to accomplish. They won't allow you to finish the hours within a specific set of time frame. Oh, so they force you to spread out the hours. Lame. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because you can knock out those 2 months and then. Mhm. So part of his job description is building a rapport with people. Working with kids specifically, working with adults specifically. And what he was saying is that they suggested that you have to span those hours out in a certain time frame. You can't do them all in like the first 2 months of required to do those hours because you have to be able to build that rapport with your clients. What did you call them? Clients, patients. Okay. You got your degree in social work. Okay. Oh, okay. So they made you. Okay, so that part of the ordeal is that they stretch that time so you can make the connections with the client slash patients that you have. Because he was saying that if you try to do those hours within the 2 months that you can do them, you're not making a connection. Therefore, you're not going to be efficient with your work. Being in social work, you have to be efficient with not only your skill and ability to approach people, but also work with them because people are different. And like, if you don't have that time to figure out how everyone can be the same but also different, yeah, you're not going to know how to do your job. Did it in a high school setting here? Oh, you went to Derby? Okay. Okay, so what he's explaining to me now is that he said that to do these hours, when he achieved his bachelor's, he had to do work at the high school that he graduated from to get those hours completed. And then upon completing his master's, those hours had to be done in a alternative school. Um, oh, you picked that. Okay, so you had options. Okay. Oh, okay. So it was an interview process, and then that they. Okay, makes sense. So you're not automatically getting the choice that you or the pick of the choice that you had made. They have to interview you, and then they have to go over the choices that you made. They have to make sure that you're the best fit, and then they complete the process by putting you in the choice that you had given yourself. Okay. Oh, so no one can hear you but me. His dog started barking. Oh, so so when you were doing these hours, you were working your shifts like they would regular school hours, 7 to 3. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. That's a nice resume that you have. Being able to, I didn't actually really know. I guess I've always known you to be in liquor. I didn't actually know that you made these achievements in your life. That's really awesome. Being able to, so would you say that you're a social worker or your degree that you got? Are you a social work or? Okay. Oh, you need a license. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So you need a license to do that. Gotcha. So, oh, kind of like how Danielle was telling me how like being a certain type of nurse. So what Nick is telling me is that the you can be you can do social work, but you can't be classified as a social worker without the license and certification. And I'm basically just kind of comparing that to my wife told me that you could be like a nurse or a nurse's assistant. There's a specific title that you can be in medical where you don't have to be like a doctor with a doctorate, but there's certain things that you can do that a doctor does. I think it's like opening up your own practice or something like that, kind of like that. Gotcha. Okay. So with this, so what was your initial major? If I could ask that. Education. Okay. What were you wanting to teach? I figured. I saw, for some reason, I thought you would be a really good history teacher. It's that, and it's like, I don't know, because you're like, you remind me of my freshman history teacher, the one that like was talking to me about, he would always say, dot your I's and cross your T's. You have that ambiance that he did, like very kind. He was actually funny, and the thing about him is that he had like a fake eye, and he would take it out sometimes. But like no, he had like the nice like demeanor and the approach that you did. So I guess that's why. Yeah, I see that. You also wanted to coach. Okay. What was there a specific like age group that you wanted to teach? So you wanted to do high school. Did you think that you were going to be ready for high school kids? Yeah. Really? You don't think that middle school is better than high school? Why not? You watch classrooms like a stand-in para or just kind of like a shadow, like an inspector? Okay. Well, this is your dogs? Oh. Oh, hey, how's your mom doing? You are? Where you guys going? Going to Wyoming? Are you guys just like going on vacation or is there something or someone in Wyoming? Sightseeing. Okay. Dang. And are you guys like renting a car or are you taking your own vehicle? SUV, okay. That's cool. Cheaper, yeah. No flights, yeah, being canceled. Hmm. Did you guys do anything special for Mother's Day? Is it her birthday or Mother's Day that you always get her favorite wine? Which one is it again? No, I'm sorry, the wine. Sorry, the wine. Wait, why? What is it? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. No, you're thinking of the wrong Mike. I, I actually have respect and sincerity for your mom. So a little insight here. I know for anyone who's viewing, it sounds like I'm just talking to myself with the face in the corner here. Nick, he's one of the sweetest human beings, and he's also got one of the sweetest moms. Our circle of friends likes to tease him about his mom, because she was for her age, she looks really good. Well, I'll be nice about it. For her age, she looks really good. But like, you like to be teased, or no, they like to tease you about it, and then there's one or two people in particular who like to go a little further and just say, "Oh," they like to talk about taking her out and everything. I won't do that. And you know I won't do that. I remember I remember seeing her at work when we would go to the mall. I remember seeing her at work. We'd always say hi. She'd say hi to the boys and stuff. So I like your mom. She's cool. Grand Canyon. How is the Grand Canyon? I think it's just a big crack, but tell me what it's like. So when you're a kid, does it look bigger than it does when you're adult, like most things do, or does it just seem like it's always big? Oh, oh, you did say that. Okay, haven't been there since you were young. John said, "Pause." We were talking about how things are big. So I think because and you know what's funny? I thought it in my head as I was saying it. I was talking about how it was big. And I was like, oh wait. So you, Nick said thanks for the heads up. So you said that you were lacking motivation to like enjoy life. Was that because of work? Oh, okay. So more like kind of like how it was with me, like living in the moment instead of living for the future. Right. Yeah. Working too much will keep you in a loop of. Now that I say that out loud, I understand why people are always so hell bent on going on vacations, or like people are always wanting to do vacations like every 3 months. I'm just like, why? What's the big deal? But like when you work so hard and so much, your brain is so fried. If you don't allow yourself that freedom to be out, like kills you over time. And I think, as you were just saying now, it does something to you. And what's even funny is that my dad was saying that earlier. I went to go help him move some stuff from my house to another house, and he was saying the same thing. Like when you work so much, like it just kind of like consumes you, and you just kind of forget how to live. Damn, that's crazy. Oh, okay. Sorry, I kind of spaced out there. I because I forget that what it looks like when people are watching. Because I'm recording it, so I have to post it. And what it looks like is this: I'm staring at the screen, nodding my head in agreement. So you you and I, it sounds like we kind of share like a similar background, and that, as I said before, that's kind of what drew a lot of people to Heat. Is that there were similar backgrounds, similar struggles, a lot of responsibility thrown onto you at an early age. So you take that with you as you grow and become older, and then like you want to have fun. Okay. So you would go to so what you started to do to venture out and have fun is that you would go to concerts. And I remember you were going to those concerts. You really enjoyed them. So you say foam party? Yeah, like okay, like soap suds. Wait, did you ever tell me about this? I don't remember you ever going to this. What? You having this kind of fun without me? Oh, okay. Huh. Foam party. Post COVID. Okay. Oh yeah, that's why. All right. Yeah. Blake Shelton. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I remember you going to that one. Oh yeah, COVID was a big hit. Yeah. Nick's just telling me about how he went to a foam party and he saw a lot of mountains, mountains of suds. Where was this at? Oh, okay. So it was in Colorado. Oh, okay. Uh, yeah. Coming from Kansas, you had to sneak. That's how it was for me at the Excision concert that I went to. Even at the Alice in Wonderland concert, Shawn probably remembers. Like for some reason, like the ones we went to were in KC. So you walk in there, people are just like lighting up, like there's no consequence. And this you're still in Kansas. And I remember when I first went, like you sure was. Um, I like I remember just being there and like I was like, why does I smell? And I looked to my side and people were just passing and they're just sitting there. And then one person looked at me and like just blew it out. I'm like, what? Like y'all not worry about getting in trouble? Like you spent all this money to come in here and then and I was like, okay. And that's just like how it was all night. People just passing stuff. The only thing I know about like that was as big as that in Texas was Sixth Street and South by Southwest. So you seem to be having a lot of fun like now that you're able to express yourself and relieve like you're able to like have fun now. Like you're kind of freed of the restrictions that were the responsibilities. Are you running into any issues with motivation these days? Remember to take the time for yourself. Okay, I like that. Right. He said self care. I was gonna say self love. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That short term goals, medium goals, and long term goals. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So he's using a long term goal example being getting a new house. That would absolutely be long term. Okay. Yeah, you on to some. Huh? So what he's also saying now is that if you set a long term goal, you can break down your goals so you can kind of stay on track, but also make them realistic. So long term goal is buying a house, and an intermediate goal is to set a goal on how much you need to make as like so basically you want to do the research on what is necessary to buy a house. So you're gonna need money for the deposit, you're gonna need money for furniture, and then like you want to make sure you have the finances to cover the first 3 months if anything happens. So making an intermediate goal financially stable. And you were saying like for example, like if you know the down payment has to be a certain amount, double it. Save up for the down. Okay. Down payment. Okay. So yeah. So what he's saying, try to if so yeah, you definitely have to understand the preparations into buying a home because you got to understand like the mortgage, you got to understand the down payment. So when you do the research to figure all that out, you can come to terms with creating more of a fine intermediate goal about just how much you need to save up, creating a savings goal. And would you also say that you would also, with that savings goal, would you try to implement a time frame on that as well? Because when it comes to buying a house, it all kind of bases on are you at a stable career? And do you plan on living where you're living at? So, like, you have to do more research, and this is all adaptability. It can also be short term goal. Okay, elaborate. Okay, gotcha. So he was saying that, when it comes to doing the research to make those intermediate and short-term goals is um when you realize that where you want to be, you've done the research on what the living cost is, where you want to end up at, against your career or your job at the time. You start to prepare around where you're at. So like if you got a really good job, you're going to be in, let's say, Wichita. If you know you're going to be in Wichita most all your life, you're going to prepare to buy a house because that's property. So when you find out how much you can save per paycheck, you're not only establishing an intermediate goal, but you're also creating a short-term goal because when you start to break down what you can save on each paycheck, then you're aware like, okay, I got bills paid, here's a little for myself, here's a house fund, here's a deposit fund, right? Yeah. Right. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, because it also falls into play with that kind of self-love, self-care. What he was suggesting is that if you are trying to reach your goal quicker, with the extra time that you may or may not have, you could look into getting a second job. He was also stating that you want to make sure that you keep in mind to always take care of yourself. If you were able to get second, a source of income, you don't want to overdo it or stress yourself out because what did I say? I said something to Chan the other day that was like, it really stood out to me that I even said it. Is that you gotta be able to have, because we were all at one point in time tended to do that. Like he would overwork, I would overwork, and we wouldn't have any energy for ourselves. I said something like, you gotta be able to have the energy to enjoy yourself. So like if you're working yourself miserable, you're not going to have the energy to enjoy whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in life. So you got to make sure you always are you have that one day a week where you just can kind of decompress and just kind of like take a break, take a mental break, take an emotional break and just be for yourself, because if you're reaching for a house, a car, a better life, or whatever it is, and you're just busting ass, you're tired all the time. I mean, yeah, work, 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 but don't work to the point to where you're almost dead. You can't enjoy anything if you're in a hospital. Can't enjoy anything if all you're doing is, because when it comes to great workers, great employees, is that people like to take advantage of the fact that you can be a great employee. So, you're working and you want that break, but then here comes like, oh, we got this and that going on. Can you pick up the slack? And you may or may not be a yes man, but if you are, you're going to continue to be stuck in that loop. And I know exactly from personal experience what that can look like. So you always want to make sure that you take care of yourself first. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I have heard that quote before. That's a really good one for this. So he had mentioned that the great Wayne Gretzky, hockey player, had spoken a quote: "You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take." I like that one. It's all about taking chances. Yeah, absolutely. And I had to learn that the hard way because I was so stuck in one place, thinking that I didn't have um, I thought that there wasn't a lot out there for me, so I really hurt myself with that. But I had to learn to start taking chances, like really put yourself out there. And here's one thing I learned also. I started to do this thing where where I am, like on social media. Like if I see if there's like a friend suggestion or like something like that, and it says add, I'm just gonna start adding them because what I'm trying to do is get my name out there, and like I think people don't really understand the hustle. Like they'll respect it, but they don't really know what it is until it's actually like they're face to face with seeing what it really is. So like if I have to sit here and click add on all these people and they'll be like, "Do I know you or who are you?" I'm like, "No, but I'd like for you to, I'd like to see if you're interested in what I got. If not, thanks for your time, Like cuz I can sit here and boost the posts of all the music and content that I have, but I mean, if I don't have the money to boost or if I'm trying to save money because it's going to continue getting me somewhere, I got to figure out other methods of getting my name out there, and that's part of the hustle. It's just like how people would be out there trying to pull the mixtape out their car and hand it to you personally. Like, I mean, at least you saw the name, at least you know what I'm about. So, like, if it was something to your liking, or even if you knew someone would like it, you'd be like, here you go, pass me on. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I like that. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, I appreciate the time, Nick. Yeah, we'll be back here on the 15th, so we'll try to figure out that audio issue on your end. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. Sweet. I hope to see you then. Take care, bud. So everyone's probably hearing my kids screaming. They're running around downstairs, getting their energy out before they go to bed, so they're not in my hair. Let's see. Shawn's on the game, so we may not see him, but that's okay. Um, I'll go ahead and just kind of answer these questions that I had myself if I haven't. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's see if we can get anyone to interact with us online. Let's go to the Facebook. We'll go to my page. Actually, no, we'll go to the. Okay, so we'll do this. Let's see. Currently streaming. Taking some input. All right, so let's see if we can get anyone to jump in on this here. Go ahead and. All right, so see if we can get some interaction from the social media pages. Do something a little different here. Uh, okay, so while we're waiting to see if anyone wanted to say anything, what are the questions I would ask for viewers? Anyone joining in is, do you have any issues with being motivated? I currently still do. Um, So I still have some issues where I'll sit to the computer, I'll try to, I'll get in the flow of making a beat or a track, right? And then, like I said earlier, I'll get stuck on one part, but I'm at a point now where like if like I'll move on. But there are times where I'll hit, I just something just like I kind of get stuck where I can get to a certain point where I finish a good part of the song and I'm just like I don't know where to go from here. And like I'll try to kind of come up with some ideas or some thoughts and I can't do it on the spot. I try to take a break and just see if I can conjure anything up. I get distracted. And the bad thing is that I've been getting distracted lately with YouTube Shorts. Um, man, is that stuff addicting. You don't realize how much time goes by when you're watching those videos. And each of these videos is like a 30 seconds to 2 minutes long, most of them. And you go through just all these videos and it's like, dang, man, I'll look up and it's like an hour long. I lost an hour because I just got stuck getting that, I think it was dopamine, that dopamine of just watching these videos because I felt I just want like, I don't know, like because I stress out I kind of just want a break, and that mental break that I'm taking is going towards looking at another screen with no productivity. Um, I also have issues with being motivated. Like I like to try to stay working out, and so like with working out, it's more like a mental physical game because it's like, do I really want to put myself through that right now? Like I want to physically, like I feel like my body's just like, yo, let's go do it. Like let's go hit the bag, let's go, hit these equipment outside. But my mind's like, let's just chill, and I'm conflicted, so I'll just sit there like a couch potato doing nothing, and then next thing I know, like it's time to feed the like it's time to eat or I always end up making some kind of excuse. I'm like tomorrow, and then with the weather we've been having lately, tomorrow rains, and I'm I'm such a stickler about cleanliness is that like I don't want to go outside and rain or work out in the rain and then come inside and dirty up the house. I don't know. I not that serious to me. I'm not reaching to anything. I'm not trying to be super saiyan. Well, I am. Let me back up there. I'm not trying. To, I'm not trying to prove myself to anyone. Like I'm not seeking any like physical goal. Like I'm not trying to look a certain way or be a certain strength. I'd like to stay in shape. I like to be able to sit down and my stomach don't hit my chin. Uh, but there's that, and then there's like sometimes I have issues with actual responsibility. Or I'll just sit there and be like, I really need to do this right now. But I'll just sit there and on my phone and YouTube Shorts. Give me every time. Sitting there and I'm just like, video. Okay, one more. Okay, one more. Okay, one more. And I'm like, oh, damn. Gotta eat. Oh, gotta do this, gotta do that. Like, I'm getting a lot better at it now. But I remember, I just know that it was a huge ordeal for a little bit. Um, so as I was stating earlier, like the ways that so the question would be, if I did have some issues with motivation, what tips help me overcome my issues? Um, I when it came to like a mental block with making music, I just had to get up. I go walk, go get some tea made, go hydrate, get something to drink. I just walk around the house, just try to pull myself away from it because if I get too deep, I just start missing. I get narrow minded and I start missing the details of what could have been or what could be. Um, I also, like I even just kind of like look through my phone. Like I'll look at some news articles. I'll try to limit myself on YouTube. Like I don't think that a mental break is bad. It's just that I have this personality where like if I feel like it's giving me pleasure at that moment, I'm gonna stick with it, and I need not do that. So I've been disciplining myself to pull myself away. I've also I get this like I'm very big on life like spirituality and energy. So I'm able to understand that there are signs that appear when it's necessary. When we really need it, there are signs all around us. However, we need to see them, and we miss them a lot. But there are like if you start to really discipline yourself to pay attention, you'll be able to see those signs. The reason why I say this is because I'll get a ringing in my ear when I know it's time for me to stop doing something and get to work. There's other things that go on, but like I really start paying attention to those signs around me because I allow my spirit guides to help me keep me on track, but I tell myself I need to know the discipline to do it myself, so I don't have to keep being reminded. Like I shouldn't need a life alarm clock every time I'm doing something, because if I can't keep myself disciplined to do what I want, I'm not going to be disciplined enough to get far when I am where I want, because I'm just gonna expect everything to be done, or I'll just, you know, like if I was to make it big, I guess with music and DJing, like, and I don't do the work. For some reason, I just stop doing the work. I'm not gonna be efficient, and then you know, uh, it won't be it won't be as enjoyed by me or the supporters. So I would like to always stay on top of that. So I keep myself in check by saying, if I don't do the work and put in the time now, I won't be able to do it in the future, and I'll cop out faster than I even got in. Um, yeah, that's a few things I could think of that really work for me. There are like when I get frustrated, I tend to lose motivation as well. Um, but what I like to do in that moment, I just take a moment. I just like relax the body because I get tense in the shoulders and crack the neck, and I just kind of like breathe deep in and out. And I have to, as I said earlier, I have to speak it out, because if I don't talk out loud and it stays up here and that contraction happens with all my thoughts, um, I'm a very big, like I think a lot. So when I'm constantly thinking those thoughts in my head and they just spiral internally, I don't escape myself, and that can be really damaging and toxic to not only me but to everyone around me. And I've learned to really work on that, which is, I will always say this: whether or not this streaming thing goes anywhere, I feel like I'm gonna do it for a while because it helps me express myself the way I should have before. Like I've never really been able to sit and talk like I do with these stream videos with BAFSAF. Like I've never been able to just kind of be like open. Like I can open up to people that I've gotten close to, but a lot of times when I try to have conversations or open up, um, I'd be interrupted. I don't really like to be interrupted. Like I understand when like you're in the heat of the conversation and like there's that slight interruption. Okay, cool. But when you're adamantly interrupting me to try to like speak your point, what you're telling me is that you don't care about mine, and you're shutting me down. That's how I take it, and I don't like that feeling. Um, and I don't know. I've always just kind of dealt with that. I don't know why. Like I don't feel like I should have to fight you through conversation to have one. And that's why, like, when I talk to certain people I can have a conversation with, like, I really open up. So this is my way of opening. Um, if you're affected, do you experience these issues more in the specific time of day? A good question that I wanted to ask is there a specific time of day where you lose motivation? Whether it be daytime, like in the morning, where you're just like waking up, are you not motivated? Does it take you a while to get in the swing of things? Midday, like are you working and you're just kind of tired? Or are you just getting up? Nighttime, there's no sunlight, not a lot of that natural energy flowing through. What what is the do you have a specific time of day where you're affected by lack of motivation? Me personally, it can be an all day thing. I don't necessarily have a specific time where it starts. I remember, well, no, yeah, I wouldn't have a specific time of day. I would have a specific time of day where I was more um I had more energy to want to do something where I would gain more motivation. That would be, well, I guess I was working, so that would be at night because I was moving around and actually like doing stuff. So as long as I'm not sitting doing nothing, I think I can keep myself motivated to do things. But if I'm not doing anything, then I'm struggling. Another question I was wanting to ask is, do you feel there was a specific reason or event that may have caused the issues with lack of motivation? Another good one I thought to ask, um, mainly because me, as I was explaining earlier, yes, it was just I recognized that I didn't care to do as much when I was younger. I remember earlier saying that it started. I recognized it in eighth grade because yeah, I was still getting um what do you call it? Good grade certificates and all that, the 4.0, perfect attendance, blah blah blah. But I I was still feeling kind of I don't know, I just like had this like feeling about life and then going into freshman year, like I wanted to go to school that I went to. It was just that things weren't how I wanted it to be in life and so I stopped caring about a lot of things and I stopped caring about more things as I got older, which led me to kind of I was very sour about life and humanity because it wasn't that I hated people or things, it's just I was very disappointed in the direction that we were all going as humans. I'm not calling myself perfect at all on this. It's just that like I think because I understood my own pain and like I had come into my empathic ability to understand people without really having to talk to them. Like I when someone would tell me about themselves, like I could feel their pain. Um and then I think also I see myself in a lot of people. Like just a little bit. Like my theory about life is that we're all connected, right? And you will see and and interact with people that are like you in some way, shape, or form. Um, and so like I would always see a little bit of myself in everyone that I met, and I think I was more disappointed in their actions because I was always disappointed in myself, and that's going back to not being so hard on yourself because I would beat myself up about just the smallest things to the biggest things, and I was very very mentally and emotionally abusive to myself. I would shut down a lot when like I just because I mean when you're growing up you always have this kind of idea where how things are supposed to be. So when things don't go how you expect them to, you could there's many ways to react, but what you don't want to do like I did is shut down. And when I say shut down, like I wouldn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk to people because I knew that the more angrier I got, the harsher my words would be, and I didn't want to hurt anyone. But I also didn't really have a lot of control of my anger, so I didn't want to say or do anything because I always had this. I always had this thought that like if I was to be pushed to do the extreme, I would do the extreme. I felt like I had this issue where like I was able to not care as much as I didn't want to. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I could make myself not care about doing anything, but I didn't want to feel that way because I knew exactly how toxically consuming that was, and that I did not want. So I made some changes. Um, Started talking to people more. Started like being able to open up, and then really just started taking more time to myself. Like whenever I had time, I would enjoy myself. Stopped trying to be there for people and just would be there for myself. And then another, has there ever been anyone that caused you to lose motivation? So getting down to specific, has there been a person or group of people? For me, I don't believe that there was a specific person or a group of people. I think for me, it was just overall um, adjustments to life. I'll say it like that. Um, I think just the weight of the responsibility that I didn't expect myself to have, and the what do you call them? Expectations for myself that I couldn't live up to at the time, whether they were big or small, were just a few of the major reasons as to why I had issues with myself. But I mean, again, over time, I was able to be genuine with myself about things. Like I understood not everything is in my control, and that's when I started to understand how to prioritize responsibility or just anything in general. Like if you can make a list of priority with what you have to do or what you want to do, I find it helpful. But like I think the issue with that is that if you're prioritizing things and you find some things that you can put last, if they're required at some point in your time in life, I would, unless you can't actually do them soon, I wouldn't make those a last priority. I would make the essentials priority. And I mean, and I'm not here to tell you how to prioritize your list. You know yourself better than I would. Um, what helped me is that I had to make sure I understood to put essentials first because again, Mr. Procrastinator, I'd be like, oh, later, 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 and then later came. I'm like, dang, I got this to do, that to do. Like I just gotta do it. So yeah, I was very big on procrastinating because I just kind of like let the universe take the wheel on a lot of things, and at 30, I will be 32. I'm kind of paying for it in some way, shape, or form. Not the best way, but you know, we live and learn. So I know how to. And I feel that like whatever you've gone through in life, if you have the next of kin, you can always teach them the lessons that you learned. Everything that you learn is a lesson. Everything you went through is a lesson. Um, as traumatic or small it could have been, everything's a lesson. I feel. Let's see. See if we got any interactions or suggestions on the Facebook account. Let me refresh. I got a memory earlier. I was holding a baby 7 years ago, and I don't remember who the hell it was. Now I'm seeing who it was. Nothing yet. Let's see. Okay. So, oh man, I'm so put off that I forgot to hit record. Like on my laptop, I need to adjust the setting. On my laptop, when I hit start streaming, it hits record too. And on here, on my computer, it didn't do that. And I gotta fix that. So mad about that, but okay. Hmm. Well, John, are you still on your game? You moved outside. What are you doing? Oh, are you doing what I think you're doing? Do you think you're gonna be able to hop on today? overall, I thought this was a pretty good topic. I hope this hits everyone the same. I understand this was kind of a weird one because I had to speak on behalf of Nick, and that went on for a while. I realized how much time was going on, and I got lost in the fact that I was listening more than I could interpret. Oh, okay. All right, cool. I'll stay on. Yeah, I want to. You know what? I've been getting a lot of feedback on our first episode, and people liked how. I mean, as they did, and people liked when we were interacting. So I definitely want to get you on here. I was saying no, that was. Uh, yeah, I mean a little bit. We don't have to go as long as we did last time. If you want to throw something in, that's cool. I'll just go through this. I'll just go through these questions. Wow, what's up? Oh, okay. Cool. So looks like we're gonna get Shawn here soon. Let me go ahead and shoot you the invite. That way you can get to that when you have a second. All right, sent that your way. Kind of excited for next month because since it's 4th of July, I'm gonna keep it topicless. It's just gonna be full on open discussion. Probably try to get some interaction and see if anyone wants to throw a topic for us to do. And real quick, while I'm while I got the time, again, we have an extra week this month. We have a fifth week of an extra Thursday this month for us to reconvene BAFSAF. So um, gotta figure out something to do that day, and that's on 29th. Yeah. So see what we can do that day.
2 hours later.
I didn't have it muted.
What about now?
Yeah, no, for sure I can't hear you. I see you laughing.
Okay. Let me see.
I still got the stream up full. I can see you just fine. But
Okay. Can you hear me
hey,
now?
oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you were
Remember,
right.
bro, that's wild. That's crazy, bro. That's absolutely crazy. Let it be known
I'm
on the
still trying to
stream
figure it out.
that I pointed it out. I pointed it out as minute detail as possible. Hey, you see that little box with the little muted mic, bro, on your window?
All right, I owe you one for that. I owe you one.
All right, it's all right. All right, I'm gonna take that one.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna
let's
take that one.
turn
I'll
you
finish up. I'll
down.
finish up my on my end, but
Oh, that was stressful.
yeah.
Good. Okay, everything is lined up. Audio sounds great across the board. All right, bet.
Oh,
So I was asking earlier, you were sharing that story. Did you
because
did
the
you want to keep
computer's.
that between us, or did you want to share that openly?
I mean, we could just.
You don't have to. You shared a lot the first episode, and that really I want you to know that that really captivated people. I don't want you to think of it as like good source material. Like it really gave a lot of people like they really appreciated like your strength and really just kind of like I guess the words that I was getting, you instilled hope and people. So I just want to let you know that. But if you feel like you're not ready to share what you just shared with me, I'm perfectly fine with that. We can wait.
Yeah. I'm glad I was able to help some people out, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Truly. Um, no, people need to know how fast things can happen. And
So
like what it looks like when, you
I'll
give some solid, advice like that, and then you have to take it yourself. Like I got to be able to walk the walk, talk the talk, but I show them I can do that too.
and I say this I also got this feedback as well. The feedback I got was that the stream could not have been any better, even with audio issues. They said the stream could not have been any better the first time. Um, it was just the content that we brought, and with you, as you just said, the struggle of having to be able to give those words and then have to go through it yourself like immediately, and then for this to be the topic at your pace. I'll leave the floor to you. Um, I mean, I'll leave it to you. If you want, you can share. If not, and
Yeah.
if we need to stop, let me know. We'll switch
All
it
right.
up.
All right, man. All
Let me know.
right. Well, last weekend, Memorial Day weekend. It's always hard for me every year. I lost a good friend of mine. 2016, September 15th. Wyatt Smith was his name. Took his own life, Kirtland Air Force Base. Remember him every year. And this year just happened to be, super hard for me as well. Because, I was just happened to be working this year too. So we're doing all that and I'm going through my stuff, just having not a good weekend, not a good workflow. And then, I come off that. It's like a 15-hour shift I worked. Then went home. Next day, Monday morning, wake up and was told that my sister was gone. She got hit by a train and died immediately on impact. So that was a snowball of just emotions. Like I was already wrecked from the weekend and then into that, and it's just tired, very, very tired. Now, for the audience watching, a little backstory. My sister and I, we have a long, non existent history. It's the best way I could say it. She was in my life up until a point, and then she wasn't. But regardless, not easy. It's rough, super rough. But, the topic is, of all things, motivation, right? Where do you find the motivation to want to do anything after that?
Right.
And it's just because, like, it's, at this point, you know, in time, I just believe I'm not, there's no way. I'm not desensitized to it because it's every single death affects me, every single one. That's my trauma from my parents. Is every single death that's somebody I know or love, like that affects me hard.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'm just like wholeheartedly nothing's gonna get worse than the two of them, unless I decide to have a child and spouse, and I lose either one of them.
Yeah.
That's probably what's gonna be at the same level. But uh, I just grieved differently this time. I just don't really think I had any tears to cry because I used them all. Like I used them all from the weekend.
Right.
Like I was working super long shift. I had messed up a couple things. Um, had wired on the brain. Just heard his voice extra hard this year, and then maybe it was him reaching out and having an odd way of like forcing me to have all of those like emotional like things go on, anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and stuff before you know got that news. That way, I'd be just too tired, too tired to even react to it, and just rest, grieve, pick myself up. Like I told you, gotta walk. I got knocked down and I crawled until I got back up. And I'm getting ready to go back to work tomorrow. Doesn't mean I'm a superhero or anything like that. So that's not it. That's not it. It's just my grieving journey and process has shaped me a little bit differently. And I'm only speaking for myself, nobody else, just myself.
Yeah.
To where I have no choice. I have no choice but to just shoulder it for a little bit. It's not on my back. Most people say you shoulder things. They do that. They put it on their back. Like no, your shoulders like it's right here. Like you can't not see it. It's right there. I gotta hold on to it, walk around a little bit, then find my quiet place, take it down, and then just sit with it and figure out what I want to do with it. Do I want to crumble with it? Do I want to cry it out? Sure, go ahead. Let's get that done. Let's get that done. That's self care, you know,
Right.
not holding it in. And after that, and getting that information, you think and you think and you think and you think, and then you stop thinking, and then you realize like, no, nothing would have been different. There was just nothing you could do. Nothing you could do to stop any of it. So, for the motivation aspect of this, where would you find motivation and drive to want to push forward? Most of your family gone. You still have a good amount, but the ones who brought you up, who knew you from, cradle to now, a lot of them gone. So you're just representing yourself in everything you do, mostly. That's motivation right there.
It is.
That's plenty.
Because one thing is that, you know, when you hold on to family like that, the nature and the nurture of the aspect of family, and take those losses in your life. I'll take a quote from the movie Black Panther, but I'll put it into a general aspect. Um, the first movie, T'Challa went and, he in the astral plane, he visited his father T'Chaka, King T'Chaka,
Mm,
and he said
mm,
that, I'm not a, if I as a father did not prepare you for my death, I failed as a father. So to put it in a general statement, and it's not in a failure sense, is that you have been prepared to live and succeed in your life as your family has prepared you to do so. Whether it was through right or wrong, whether it was through love or shun, you have been prepared to continue your journey in life. Loss is never easy. And as you
mm,
get older, you take those losses more. I I speak in this sense only because I know how strong you are. Your aura is the most vibrant that anyone could ever meet. And you bear those burdens until you're ready to understand, or until you're able to understand that what has happened. You take your grieving process, and you continue to not only make yourself better, but you continue to make someone's day better. As I said to you earlier before, that one video that we did together, I've gotten nothing but positive feedback on, and like, people were telling me that they shed tears for what you've gone through, but at the same time, that has given them hope to continue on, because, it's whenever you're able to hear someone go through such pain and anguish, and to see where they're at now, it's definitely a rising phoenix story. And then you gave a lot of people that, which is why I wanted to make sure you were comfortable with sharing your recent in this situation now. Um, I think, as unfortunate as it was to not only have to relive that pain of your friend, am I saying that right? Of who passed,
yeah, be my
um,
buddy.
and then also your sister, as as distant as you may to have been. I mean, there was at one point in time memory created, love created. You had to bear that now, because you are going to be the pinnacle of someone's life in the future, that they seek for guidance on how to grieve, how to handle, how to continue on in life. We hit these moments in our life because we're to pass on our experience to the to anyone else in the future, and like people such as ourselves who get hit early with those experiences. We're tested because there's something in us that is seen in our destiny, that lets us know that we're strong enough, we're capable enough to keep going, and to share that learning experience. I mean, as tough as it was, and I I honestly thought that hearing your touching story with the first episode, I didn't think that, I don't think anyone would have thought that here comes another one at your age, another one, and then another one.
No, man.
And I'm just,
I know.
I again, I'm so sorry that you had to take yet another loss. But I thank you for sharing. And again,
You're
you
welcome, bro.
you are just a true character, man. You're amazing. And as far as your friend who had taken his life beforehand, uh, I understand how hard that is. There were a couple of friends of mine in my past, and people that I knew. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have known someone who has, but like, there, it's tough because you ask questions that can't be answered by the person that you want to ask. You want to understand what could have been done, and sometimes it just takes getting to the point to where it's like, maybe there was enough done. It was just, like you said before, it's out of our control. So, we're forced to kind of just accept that, but it's part of, I don't want to say that. It's just, when it happens, we have to learn to adapt, as I had mentioned earlier, adaptation. Like, you have to adapt to the changes in life, and having someone take their life for whatever reason it may have been, it takes some adapting because you have to go on with unanswered questions. And there's a pit because like when it comes to someone's life being taken, there's an answer. There's a reason that you can allow yourself to sit with. But when it's different, like that situation, it kind of leaves that empty pit that you have to fill yourself. You have to fill it with, you know, your own kind of explanation and reasoning to it. And it's very difficult, very, very tough. It's especially when you're close to that person, it's that heavy. It's that much heavy. Um, Not being able to get the answers that you have to fulfill yourself rather than knowing, and it takes some trekking to get out of possible like a darkness that you may have stumbled into, or just kind of getting out of that grieving moment, because that unknown can prolong the grieving even more, from what I've come to know and understand. How, if you don't mind me asking, how are you handling yourself with coming into a yet another year of the anniversary, and then I guess I'll with that, before this new event happened, how are you handling yourself with the anniversary?
Oh, like year three.
Mm-hmm.
Well, usually, well, it's honestly it's just it gets a little tricky and it gets a little odd for me because my birthday is like 12 days before that date. So it's kind of like oh, another year. We did another year.
Yeah.
And then boom, like reminders like, hey, don't forget it's another year of you on expert. Like, there's your reminder every year. It's year number 3, expert mode. Actually, expert mode
It's
was the
insane
whole
mode.
time. Yeah, you're on God mode now.
Yeah.
Like your tutorial, like it finished early.
What tutorial?
Like everybody, like if you think about it. Everybody's tutorial.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody.
Mm.
Hopefully, before people get put on the real game of life, you don't come off the tutorial mode until like your parents are gone.
Ooh.
You don't,
Yeah.
because you go to them for everything,
I
even when you know how to do it.
I will say your your closest loved one. It's because again,
Yeah,
it's going
yeah,
to be different for some people.
absolutely. That's why I said like not
Yeah. Okay.
everybody.
You
Like
did
because
right.
we
Okay.
were just on the
Yeah.
topic of we
Hmm.
were on the topic of parents.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Hmm.
But yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds it's just that's way cleaner. That's better. Like your most cherished human
Hmm.
person, and they you have them. Let's go the natural route. You have them until like they they pass away at a whatever age you would feel is a good age, and that's when your life kind of starts. You're like, oh, okay, well, I've been living this life doing this, and I've been still talking to them, hanging out with them and getting advice, and they're gone now, and they help me be able to get through most of the levels and get out of tutorial mode now, and now I'm really ready. Now I'm good, and then again, you have those moments where, oh, hey, you start today.
Mm. Yeah.
It's like, huh? Yeah, you start today. Start what? Life. Oh, yeah, your tutorial mode ended. Oh, okay. I'd like to go try a different game. No, can't. And like you just gotta keep reminding yourself, like, oh yeah, like don't get sucked into the little outlets that are too comfy. Don't, because there's gonna be a lot of mentors that are gonna want to come in. They don't want to take the place, but they want to come and do as much as they can. And you have to remember, like, not everybody's wings are comfy to be under.
Right.
You have to, you get this. You absolutely, for this, get to pick and choose your wings to be under. If the wing that you're under is currently comfortable and it's good, that's nice and it's perfect, and you keep that. But don't be afraid if you are, kind of like, okay, like I'm kind of like good from being under wings. Do it amicably, and then if go fly out. Okay, I need another wing. Okay, find another wing because they're gonna help you with a different part. Try to graduate each time because now you have life mentors for the rest of your rotations, and it's gonna be different people. Stick with them for a little bit. Move on to another one. Move on to another one. Because sometimes they'll add on to the previous, or sometimes they'll add on to something you just didn't even know you needed. But you got to keep finding them. You lost your mentors. You got to keep finding them. Got to keep finding them. As for me, well, I'm pretty stubborn, and I I know the words quit because they've been on the tip of my tongue before, and they've came out of my mouth before. But my brain didn't. My brain obviously didn't tell my body to relay the rest of that because it kept going, keeps going. Because what a lot of these people are gonna tell you, which I've probably already told you, but I'm gonna tell you the second half of it when I tell you to not quit and this and that. I know a lot of us quit and we say the words quit. I know there's people out there who say the words quit, and as soon as the words quit leave their lips, they're like, oh, I can't believe I said that. And they're out. It's like, oof, ugh, that was me just now. Sorry, didn't know I had that. Didn't know that came out. let me fix myself. If you say the words like "I quit," make sure it's a good quit. You know, make sure it's a good quit. Like, make sure it's done, finito. Like, if you're gonna quit, don't come back to it because you don't get to. You quit. You truly quit. That's what I mean. Like, if you're gonna do a quit, make sure it's a good quit.
Come to, I guess, like you were saying,
If that makes
come to
sense.
peace with it.
Yeah. Like, know that you're not gonna be able to do anything more with that.
Yeah.
Because even then, I wouldn't call that quitting. But some people, everybody interprets things differently. I wouldn't call that quit. Even then, I wouldn't call that quitting. I would say you hit you hit a wall, you hit a ceiling, you hit something you just have the horse blinders on for currently. That's all that is. Like, you hit you know oh, hold on. Oh yeah, I could go left here. You know? That kind of thing. Like, you hit that wall and you just kind of and you just keep staring at the wall.
Yeah. Stuck.
And you could just open them up. Oh, That way you can at least look if you have options, you know? And if you don't have those options, then you get to rest, you get to take a break and sit down physically. But then you get to use this and you get to work some more on figuring out the issue. And that's the part a lot of people shy away from because not a lot of people like what goes on up here.
Yeah. And to also add to that, depending on what the situation is
Kind of all over the
or
place.
what it is no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, because I felt that way about myself earlier. No, you're good. Um, to add to that though, I think what people need to continue to understand is that when you're quitting something, sometimes it's not quitting. Like you were on a really good roll there. And just to add, it may not be quitting. You're like, accepting the fact that the time with that endeavor has come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're doing really well, you're succeeding, but you within yourself are just like, I can't. That's just your inner self just saying, hey, it's we're done
You've
here.
had your
It's
fill.
it's it's yeah, like it's time to move on to something different. But if you find yourself really trying to work towards something and you just can't get it right, maybe it's not
Right.
for you. So you're
Right.
not quitting, you're allowing yourself to stop putting in effort to apply it to something where you can actually succeed. So you're just like Nick was saying earlier, um, when he couldn't be heard and I had to interpret, you're redirecting your path to success
Mm-hmm.
or whatever
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to achieve. So you have to
No.
understand that sometimes
Yeah.
it's when when you're when those words quit are coming out, reword it. So it's like,
And there's plenty of times to
yeah.
where we all just don't realize the cup is just a little bit smaller than we thought it was for what we were doing.
Hmm.
When in, our depth perception was like, oh yeah, it's deep. It's deep for this. And then once that cup kind of hits that fill point, you're kind of like, oh, maybe maybe this is all I had for this. Oh, all right. I mean, that's it. That's all you got. It's all you just spiritually, mentally, can't put any more into it.
Gotta know moderation.
No, like that's just it. It's like, hey, I poured as much as I can into this. It's not everything I thought it would be, and I've been at it for a while, so here we go.
Yeah, like with that, you got to understand when you're pouring yourself into, whatever it is like, if you're continuing to pour and you're getting nothing out of it, you don't see a stop. Maybe you got to understand, like, you got to step back and understand there's a leak somewhere. Are you willing to patch that, or do you just,
Hmm.
fill a different container?
Who brought bottles of water to the room with a pitcher on the table?
So yeah, it's definitely in. And you have to
Like
be able
who?
to accept that. You have to be able to accept that mentality that change is imminent. Like you have to. Like
Hmm.
sometimes you have to make those changes. I have been myself stubborn to thinking I don't need to change this and that, and just been complacent and going nowhere. And then until change was forced upon me, I'm like, oh yeah, I should have made a move a long time ago. And so now that I know that, I'm able to see those changes that need to be made, and I take that leap. I make that move.
I feel you. I feel you.
And it's and part of and that's a big thing when it comes to motivation is that when it change and motivation go hand in hand. It's just like envy and jealousy. It goes hand in hand even though it can seem opposite. Like you have to be motivated to make a change, and hold on, you got to be motivated to make a change, but in order
Hmm.
to change something like that. Yeah. So but like I see it going hand in hand, like in order you have to want to make a change, but You
It's
have
true. I
you
mean,
have to want to make the change, and the change has to want to be made. So I have no idea what I'm saying anymore.
no, I can help you here. Um, 'Cause I feel like I know what you're saying. I
Yeah,
feel like I do.
I'm stuck.
Like, because there's just more. There's just a little bit more to that. Like when the phrase like you gotta want to make a change. Because there's a lot of people that want to make a change. There's just not a lot of people that want to put in the effort and the work that comes with making that change.
There you go. You gotta apply it.
They they don't as a good quote that I like that's kind of stuck with me. It's by Kevin Hart. It's what he does before his shows with his crew, and the phrase like everybody want to be famous, and the crew's like nobody want to put the work in.
Yeah,
And Kevin Hart's like everybody want to be famous. He's like nobody wants to put the work in.
yeah.
You know, like everybody wants to out. Everybody wants to try to do this. Everybody wants to try to do that. And
Keyword, try.
and and honestly, like up until like a certain point, I truly don't blame anybody for anything they're trying to do. That everybody's level of difficult is vastly different.
Yeah,
Vastly different. Going outside for me is not the same as going outside for somebody who has very high social anxiety. Like it's not the same.
you gotta
Like
know
our
what you can
struggles and
handle.
difficulties aren't the same. So like if you've done everything you can, think if you've done everything you can just by yourself. How long have you been screaming to where you're at a point to where nobody can hear you, or you think nobody can hear you? Well, if you still think nobody can hear you, there's like probably about 3 billion something human beings on this planet. Somebody's gonna hear you. Somebody's gonna hear you. They might not speak your language, but they gonna hear you because energy speaks words.
Mm.
You know those feelings where you could be watching something and not even understand a single thing going on. You're like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, mm-hmm. Feel that. I understood it all completely. Didn't even say a word. That type of thing. I think that's a mental barrier, a subliminal and subconscious barrier that I had to overcome at one point, and others might have to overcome at some point. Um, if if you're screaming and shouting and nobody's hearing you, odds are all those people that aren't hearing you aren't speaking your language, you know, or they don't
Ooh,
want to hear it.
ooh.
Like that language that you're talking, oh, it's translating. They just don't want to hear it.
Hmm.
It's not the language. It's not the language that they want to accept right now. But if you keep talking, somebody's going to come along and be like, you know what? Nah, they're kind of talking my language today. Let me hear what's going on. Like, no, I hear that too. And boom, small connect. And it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck for those who keep trying and they keep not getting anything out of it. You know, try pen pal. That is I'm so serious.
No,
And
definitely.
it's and it's so it is way easier today than it was, when we were in school. And like they're just completely third party.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on. That's why a lot of people flock to anonymity. You know.
I no, I feel that because what I was telling Nick earlier, you may remember, like for me to have to get through the hurdles of exposure for like music and DJing and everything, my immediate thought, and even for the streaming stuff, my immediate thought was to reach out to my peers. Not everyone that we know mutually gives a shit about this, and a very select few will be willing to show their support any way, shape, or form. Like you can like it, you can share it, you can love it, or you can speak on it, whatever. But if you're seeing it and you just go, oh, and you swipe past me on your feed, cool. I'm not mad at
Mhm.
you because the more people that do that, I can see the response in that by seeing no response at all. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, these people I know them, blah blah blah, however it is, like, and I get no love. Okay,
Mhm.
I am not gonna sit here and stress it. I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time because it also goes to show: are these the same people contacting you on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Have you heard from them at all since you've last saw them? If the answer is no, and they're not showing you any love for the what you're doing as far as what you want to do in your life, whether it be career or hobby or passion, hey, you knew them well. Wish them well. Find some other outlet, find some other people. I had to teach myself that because, yeah, like
Mhm.
if I'm in front of your face, you'll sit here and you'll show me love, you'll show me support. But if I'm not getting it on the outside of that, if outside of seeing you in person, you're not really helping me. And I'm not gonna knock you for it because that's you. I don't live your life, you don't live my life, and we're not gonna cross into each other like that. So what do I need to do? I gotta start adding people myself. I don't know this person, but I'm adding. Or I see this group of people who all know each other. We have similar likes, and they may like what I've got. I'm at them. Or I'm gonna reach out to people. Hey, if you like this, I'm gonna choose other outlets to get my content where it needs to be for other people to know what I want to provide. I can't be stuck on the peers that I once knew as peers who don't
Mhm.
really share my same interests anymore. Like it's not, and you don't, if you don't want to speak for anyone else, you don't have to fool yourself on anything. Just take it like this, you grew apart, but you had moments to share. It's just it was time for y'all to separate and do your own thing. I had to come to terms with that. I struggled with that after leaving Heat because I thought, as many people as I was able to help and provide and hang out with, I'm only talking to a handful. Like there's 70. If I put a number down, I'm only getting like 2% back. I know
Oh,
100
dude.
people at work. I'm only
Oh,
talking to
dude.
I'm only talking to 7, and that's not even the right math. But that's just like that's how
Who
it is,
you telling, man? Who you telling?
But it's like, and I'm still living in the same city with all these people. I can see these
That's a
people
little
at the
different. That's a
store.
little different.
I can see these people at
Yeah,
the
it's
store,
different.
and it's like,
I
for
went to a whole different country.
right for you, for you it's like okay, see ya. But for me, it's oh hey, hey. But I'm not gonna knock anyone for not because it's like as you get older, you want things, different things, you see different things, like you enjoy different things, and you know I can make up all these reasons and excuses for them all I want to, but I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna be like,
Mhm.
okay, well, what we had, I'll cherish, but it's no longer there. I'm not gonna continue seeking the approval of people who don't want to give it, but it's not gonna be the same if it was flipped. I'm gonna try to do my best to support because that's just me, you know, and that's not speaking on anyone who's not doing that for me right now. That's just general. But you got to be able to get outside your comfort zone, is my point. Your comfort zone is
Mhm.
your peers, is your circle, the people you know, the people you've been around. You got to be able to expand beyond that because you're not going to get anywhere remaining in your circle if your circle ain't trying to help you expand. Motivation, expansion. You got to be able to expose outwardly. You can't
Mhm.
depend on people around you. You got to depend on yourself. You got to bet on yourself.
Yeah, it all comes down to self-love at the end, huh?
Yep, self-love, self-care, self-preservation, and self-exposure, like
Because
self-affirmation. Yeah.
if you got none of that, which a lot of y'all do, you just don't want to say it. You want to be all grumpy gills. That's fine. But you love yourself a lot more than you think you do. Just saying.
And
Just saying. And you could be all mad and it's fine. I'm not even gonna be any other kind of way. If you want to do any kind of thing or say any kind of thing after that statement that I just said, but if you got mad, something in you is thinking I was talking a little shit just now, thinking that you love yourself and you getting mad at me saying you don't. Why would you defend yourself that hard? Crazy.
especially if it was an immediate reaction.
Mm, mm. And even for the ones that, felt nothing, because that happens too from that kind of a statement. Call it a weird form of twisted love. Call it a weird form of twisted protective love that you're doing for yourself.
Hmm.
No, we're not ready to laugh yet. We're not ready to smile yet.
Well, I think
We're not
that's
ready to feel it
you just said the
yet.
key word right there. You said protected, so they're guarded.
Yeah. He's like, mm.
Hmm.
He's like, I know he means right.
Hmm.
And normally this would, melt me a little bit, but no, I'm empty. Well, yeah, okay, you're empty right now still. Protecting yourself. It's some self love because if you if you didn't, you'd know. It's hard. It's hard. It
It
really
is,
is.
and it's an obstacle. It's a discipline because you have to understand, especially when you're someone who's given yourself through life and to people through life, and a lot of times you came up empty-handed or short-handed. You gotta understand. Sometimes you just really gotta assess the situation immediately and just go, nah, because you're not denying someone. You're just denying the opportunity to be put in that situation again. Like you don't have to sit there and tell somebody straight up no if they ask for a ride. To be like, nah, I can't, but I can help you find one.
Yes.
And
Have an
like you
alternative.
gotta understand when to allow someone to be cut off. Like you just gotta understand when to cut someone off, cut someone short. And it's you don't have to be an asshole about it, but there are ways to be firm. You say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, I'm not really feeling that.
Boundaries.
I can't boundaries. Like I can't do that right now. I can't do that today, but I can, I may be able to direct you, or even just being firm. Like I can't do that today because I know from close experience that when you tell someone that you're not able to, as firm as you may or may not be, they go, oh well, what about no, and that's when you tell no, and you know what, I don't want any other options. I can't do that for you right now. And if someone in person just walk away, if they're in your house, hey, you know what? If you keep that up, I'm gonna ask you to leave. If it's just a
Mm-hmm.
text or a phone call, hang up or just don't respond. Because that person's
Oh
gonna need to
man, that's the
understand
hardest thing.
it is.
Is knowing you have you know what it is. You know what it is, bro. Everybody has lost the feeling of what it likes to hold power in your hand and flip it closed. They've forgotten what flip phones are like. Because that nobody had an issue hanging up back then. Not a soul. It was a pride thing to hang up with a flip phone back then. There's nothing satisfying about a silent button press. Because even if you power click it, you didn't hang up. You just locked the phone and they can still hear you.
Say what?
It's like slap that thing.
I gonna do?
So you're having a toxic conversation, a sad conversation, feel like you're being held toxic. I know it's satisfying.
you
Now you're
you
just like panic
you
because
definitely
like
gotta know when to when to cut
And that
loose and
happens.
propel yourself, because like you can't get
A
further
grenade.
if you've got weight on you. Think of it as like, okay, if you're someone, you've got an open sack that's catching anything that you walk through, right? So you've got this little sack, and as you're walking, you're picking up dirt, you're picking up rocks, picking up
Mm-hmm.
trees, twigs, whatever.
Kind of like a haversack.
So, right. And as you're walking and you're realizing why your pace is slower, why you're tired, why you can't continue, you haven't turned around to see all that you're dragging behind you. When you turn around and you first see what all it is you're dragging, first you gotta understand how you didn't know that in the first place. Secondly, you gotta understand, okay, I need to get rid of this load so I can continue my journey. Once you start getting rid of the load, and mind you, you can't sit there and prioritize. Hold on, let me backtrack that.
No,
Okay,
no,
so you
you're good.
I think what I'm trying to say is that like you can't
I
sit there
know
and
where
be
you're
like,
going.
"Oh, I need this, like I need that."
Yep, yep. You
No,
can't
you can't
sit
do that. You
and
have to
sift through it.
understand is that if it's not helping you get forward, you're just gonna have to put it to the side.
Oh man, that's so tricky.
It is
It's so
because
tricky
especially
because
when you
you
start
can't
doing it with
sift through
people,
it, but you have to sift through it.
yeah, it's like
But
it's
you,
like a kid
oh,
getting rid of their toys.
you
Which ones do I really want to keep? Because
yeah,
when you start saying, "Oh, I play with this one, I play with this one," but oh, I like that one, but do you play with it? You like it,
man.
but do you play with it?
Yeah, there's like you have that, and then what happens if you don't? Okay, here's this is something that I love to do. I love to play both sides of the coin. I love to entertain both sides of the coin equally for just letting moving some stuff to the side and putting some stuff like in the back. You know what? And just getting rid of it. Some stuff you have to sift through it. Some of it you have to look through because if you just dump something and it was trauma related and you just you let it go without holding on to it and bringing it back and actually working through it or acknowledging it, not just letting it, because guess what, that trauma that you left back there, someone's going to pick it up because you decided to just leave it. Someone else is going to pick it up. You don't gotta dress it up. Don't dress it up.
Yeah,
Leave
don't.
it raw.
I see where you're going with that.
That's but because
You don't want to give it any like,
you got to give some things some thought.
yeah, you don't want to make it special if it's not.
Man, like, because that's what happens when if you start going to sessions, and a lot of people have like these moments where
Okay.
it's like, oh, oh, because you just decided to leave it and you didn't come back to it because it's there. You just got to try to remember it's back there. We all forget. I forget. I've done it so many times, and I've had to go backtrack, and it's harder when you have to go back. Sometimes, only sometimes. Sometimes it's easier to go back because you left it there and then you came forward, got to a better place, went back, recognized the trauma. Okay, I understand now. This is what this was. This is why I was able to navigate this. We're doing better now. Collected the trauma, tied it off, right there. Good to go. Cleaned it up. I'll give it to the trauma fairy.
And another thing with trauma, that's a really big one too because that's
Trauma
actually
lungs, man.
that's a good one because if you I guess I mean, yeah, you have to make peace with it. Like you have to understand what you like if it's holding you back, you have to understand why it is, and you have to make peace with it. Like you have to come to terms with
Mm.
whatever's causing you trauma. You got to understand that whether it's something that's residual or it's something that you could eventually completely get over. Like you have to adapt to that. Like you have to be able to be okay with it because there's a part of that trauma that you're allowing yourself to hold on to. It may be like a fond memory, like let's say for instance, like a major loss in the family, you may be holding on to that trauma because what you're really holding on to is the memories. But
It's true.
instead of holding on to them, like instead of remembering it, because you may find it too painful, you hold on to the trauma because it's easier to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Yeah, no, I like that. Man.
I had to deal with that.
Oh,
I feel like I can say that because I see it in a lot of people, but I think I also had to deal with that myself. When you're holding on to these good memories, it hurts so much more because you want them back, you want more of it. But when you when you understand that the loss happened, you're telling yourself that you accept it by remembering that it hurt you, but you're not allowing yourself to heal by remembering what you loved about everything about that person before the event happened.
mm.
And it's I think it's just fear based because what you're really doing is that you're telling yourself that you accept it, but you're not letting it set in. You don't want it to be formatted that it happened and nothing's going to change. You can't completely move on until you've allowed yourself to understand that you don't have to let that person go, but you need to be able to move on with and enjoying the memories instead of feeling the loss. I'll say this:
What's that?
you were speaking on you were saying something earlier on, and I related to it because when I was telling you about the anniversary of my brother, I will let you know
Mm-mm.
ahead of time. Oh,
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about how it's 12 days before your birthday or after your anniversary?
After.
After. So yours is 12 days after your birthday. With my brother's passing, his birthday, so it's weird because his birthday it can fall on Thanksgiving. He passed like a week or two, no, 2 weeks after his birthday, a day after my sister's birthday. Literally that passing night, like her birthday's on the 6th, he was gone 3:30 a.m. on the 7th.
Mm.
So I mean, for her, that's her birthday changed every year. For us, it's Thanksgiving every 7 years when it's his birthday and Thanksgiving.
Mm.
And I relate to that because it's like each year, and I remember I would come to you when I was at work, like, hey, bro, one, it's wintertime. I'm always losing family member in the wintertime. Like from this time to this time, it's hard for me. And you related because you understood where I was going. And I was like,
Yeah.
yo, if I'm ever in a pit, just understand it's not the best season. It's not the best time of year. I'm reminded of so much and I just kind of need extra time. And I got you. You were like, I got you. And you were there for me and when I needed it. And a lot of times I was able to just kind of shake it off and get to work. Sometimes I had my days where I'm just like, I wasn't feeling it. And I had a
Mm-hmm.
lack of motivation to not only work, but to like be involved socially. And what helped me out is that I immersed myself into the likes of you and to other friends that we had, and just being able to be present, allowing myself to understand that I'm hurt, but I have to be able to, I guess, like be there. Like I have to live
Mm-hmm. I
because I
got you,
I had
bro.
so much. Like I had other family. Like I was making more friends. I was making stronger connections with some of the friends. Like I had so much to live for that I had forgotten because I had lost something or I had lost someone. And you have to kind of pull yourself out of that mindset. Like there's so much more to lose than what you had already lost because there's also so much more for you to gain. And it's very hard when you take a major loss like that. That when you're already in that spiral, for you to pull yourself out because it takes you to pull yourself out. You have to understand, like, hey, something's got to change. We can be better because, like, having this person or these people in our lives meant that we now understand how to be with other people. The love that you learn from your parents, from your siblings, from whatever family or whatever friend is how you can apply that to everyone you meet in your life moving forward, to the kids that you're going to have, to the new friends, to the old friends, just even random people. Like you can kind of share that little bit that you learned emotionally to continue that on, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bro, yeah, bro. We were each other's checks and balances,
Yeah.
dude. Really.
And
I'd come in and like you just know how I'd get oblivious with holidays. Every day was a blur for me.
yeah.
And I'd just come in, see it, and be like, oh, that time of the year, and be like, yep, all right. Chiquita. Go to the brother. All right.
Man, I remember when it would start getting cold and I'm sitting there shivering in the morning. I'm walking stiff. I'm just like my mind is just so
Oh,
desolate. Like because I had to work overtime just to make sure I didn't let those thoughts take over.
you mean we had to work overtime? What you talking about?
Yeah.
I was there when you. I was there before. I was there when you was there. What you mean? I left when you left. I pull doubles every day.
Man, you never stop, man.
Oh no, I didn't. I
You
should
was
have.
you was doing
I sh-
damage control in your sleep.
oh Lord, dude. I don't. Whoo-wee. Whew. I I think I was beyond professional like damage control. Like I was S tier, fucking S tier. Like you walk in as let's go with Shikamaru as damage control and I'm Itachi. That's how much damage control I was doing at all times. Constant genjutsu of damage control at all times.
Draining that eye.
Bruh. I didn't think.
Literally going blind. Like
Oh,
his literal
proud.
blindness was like your mental and emotional blindness. You just started to lose sight. And that's how it was for me, like because I would go in there damaged and with the help of you and a couple others, like I'm still helping everyone else piece together their psyche because everyone
Dude,
else had problems. And like if they weren't with you, they were
Stargaze.
with me. If they weren't with me, they were with some other like server or bartender or even other customers. But like it was
Mm-hmm.
always like we
Mm-hmm.
were one of the pillars of of of, of like support for people. And so while we're doing that, we're
Mm-hmm.
just like we're forgetting to take care of ourselves, and we're just like we're going
Yeah.
to each other broken. We're like, yo, I got
Yeah.
you.
Bruh. We were the thank God you guys are here people every time we came in.
Yeah,
We're like, thank
we
God.
were the combo that everybody
It
needed.
was it was like, oh, they're both here. Like, wait, Mike's here, Shawn here's like, yep, all right, you both fucked.
And on a
They're both
Thursday
here
or a
tonight.
Sunday,
They're both here today, so all the bartenders. I think no, because they're both here today, so I dare one of y'all to act up. I was like, guys, I just want my mint hookah and the speaker, guys, like, and the Long Islands. Maybe a little Zataro cheese. I don't know.
oh my gosh, the Zatar cheat. That I forgot about that damn thing.
Martini.
Were you the reason why it started? No,
No, hell
no.
no.
I think I remember who started it. Ugh.
Probably Freddie.
No, it wasn't. I think I know who it was,
Uh, if it's a certain name, I don't know.
but damn, I just realized we unpacked a lot.
We unpacked so much. We redid damage control at the end subliminally. It's like, you all right, bro? Like, yeah, dude. Can you believe all that crap? Like, oh, dog, I can't believe that
We
crap.
would for real circle back.
We oh, speaking of damage control, um proud what whew, proud damage controller moment. Even though I had to go through my own uh pains and stuff with it, a lot of my people and whatnot that panic mode button, call button, this and that. Like it's been quiet for a really long time, and you have to go through your stages of like upsetness, grief, anger, and whatnot, and then once you get through your little like grumbles, you're like, oh man, I'm so proud of them. I just didn't know how to handle the emotions I was handling, even though like I could still be mad that nobody fucking told me, um, you know, that everybody's doing something a little different. They're going through their own uh healing processes now. Like, well, shit, I wish you all would have told me. Like, I've been sitting here in the call center and the lines have been cobwebs and didn't know what happened. And then you realize, oh, dude, y'all are doing it. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
They're doing it. And it's cause for celebration and growth. And it's a beautiful thing, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, man. Especially when you find out that you're not like you see
Like
yourself not doing it so much.
yeah,
Like,
like you won't nobody tells you. It's shitty that nobody tells you. I mean, they don't know what to tell you. Nobody just thinks to tell you. Um but yeah, you do get mad. You do get sad. You get you do think stupid things. You're like, oh man, I'm just, all nobody gives a fuck anymore. It's like, no, man, they just really are at a point where, like, dog, we really can't be fucking doing this to these people anymore. Like, we gotta start picking it up. We gotta start picking it up, and you gotta realize that's what they're doing. Because when you come back to this person, or really when they come back to you, and even if they don't, you love it. It's okay. They had to do what they had to do to keep skating around and get right for them. But if when they do, I want to say when, because I believe in people. Um, until they give me a reason not to. Um, when they come back to you, you also need to understand they are not the same person.
ooh,
Just like you are not the same person. How they
yeah,
left you, how you trauma left them, how both of you trauma left each other.
mm,
Sometimes somebody's not in a different mode anymore compared to the other one. Sometimes both are in a different modes, and guess what? You both know each other so well that something new happens that you weren't ever expecting to happen. Is damn, I've known you for how long? Damn. And we've done this and this. Like, huh, I want to get to know you all over again type stuff. And
yeah,
I have a few friends that um that are like that. And it's like, oh man, well, I am so curious to hear about like, their journeys and stuff because now there is something new. Like you don't have the same bond. You have to understand you don't have the same bond.
Yeah,
Like the
that's it.
bond that you once held, it's been
Different.
separated a bit.
Yeah,
And guess what? If you're both like the same type of people, genuine, you're just gonna come back and just make it a new one, and it's gonna be a stronger one than before. But now you have more to bring to the table than you did before. It's not the
yeah,
same monotonous stuff. And I'm not saying everybody needs to just dump their friends for a while, but sometimes it's good,
it,
and then sometimes it reveals all. But ultimately, in my humble opinion, um, just because I speak for myself, um, I just love to get to know. To me, this is a new you. Like it's a new version of you to me.
yeah,
Same old you to you. New to me. So I'm very much looking forward to getting to meet like the new versions of everybody, or the however they want to say like, oh, this is the improved on version, or like, oh man, that was just a rough draft. Like, hey, we're still on the final draft.
yeah.
We're not
And
quite to the final copy, but we're still writing.
that's the
You're
thing.
supposed to evolve and change.
Yes, that's the thing. I wish people would understand is that when
Things aren't supposed to
so
be same old, same old.
like when as we're growing and getting older, we tend to throw ourselves ahead of we get ahead of ourselves depending on the environment or the group of people that we hang around with because we believe that we could be as advanced or mature as we think we are and we're not. Like from the time that you are able to walk and talk as a young toddler to I want to say um like 8, and then like between the 8 and 13, like 8 and 13 is when you start to become self-aware because you start understanding there's something like there's things about you have a personality, you have character, and you start understanding other people around you. When you hit like 13 to let's say it's like maybe 18 or something like that, you start to understand there's more to life. You start asking questions about life. There's more to life than there is just like being happy, getting what you want, blah blah blah. Because then you start understanding responsibility. Like from 18 to like 29, I'll say 18 to 29, you are only experiencing real life. Average 18 to 29, you're starting to experience real life as as a baby adult.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what life is because you ain't really been out there like that. You've been guarded, you've been protected, you've been sheltered to the real world. But now that you're out there, because you most likely have to learn on your own. 18, you went to college or got a job, left home, whatever it was. You're now in the process of learning life. So just as an infant learns to eat, crawl, walk, you are an adult are starting to learn how to be responsible, learn how to carry yourself in public, learn how to operate with people you don't know, getting to know them, understanding how to really assess your emotions and emotions at the same time. It's like we experience loss, we experience pain, and when people react to that, that may have been the first time you act or react that way. Is that how you're going to react again? Because you have to understand, like, when something's the first time, especially as an adult, you're so aware of that being a thing, you start comparing it to someone else's reaction. It's like, was that right? Was that wrong? A lot of times when it's emotional, I mean, there's no right or wrong. I mean, like, if you feel like you can control it or make it different, then yeah. But sometimes an emotional reaction is simply that it's an emotional reaction. A lot of people tend to have similarities on how they react emotionally, but I mean, it's always going to be different. What's up? What's up? Okay. Why don't you go to bed? But
Bruh.
it's like we're very
That hair
premature.
crazy.
We're very premature with how to operate in life when you start to operate in life.
Hi, I'm your uncle. How's it
Say hi.
going? That's okay. At least when you meet me, you'll think we're related.
Why this one ain't got no diaper on? I hope ain't nobody seen no little wee wee.
Oh man, I don't think I did, so I'm sure somebody else won't.
Hey, hold up. I need to get to that before it turns into an accident. I'll
Yeah,
be right back.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Whew. How y'all doing? Week's almost done. Week's almost done. Well, not for me, but yeah, I kept the audio going.
That's all right. I'm muted.
No, you're good.
Kids.
Yeah, at least their uncle looked like them, hair included.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, no, of course. Like yeah, it's gotta be. There's no way.
The little anime characters running around my damn house.
Oh my lord. Hey man, you'll be getting upset when they can instant transmission and you can't.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna need to learn how to instant transmission to clean this damn mess up. I ain't doing no more count. One. You ain't here.
Oh, they go. They'll be like, Daddy, I'm gonna need you to use that 9,000 pound level. I'm gonna need you to count up to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the power. Knock your ass out.
The scanner about to scan it at.
And I like talking to you, man. And like just to add to your conversation, and like as I said before, like I know you how I knew you before COVID, and yeah, you're different now because you partake in different hobbies that I never
Oh
thought that you
man,
would ever.
what
And like
dog?
I'm so excited to continue like being able to do this with.
Yeah, man. I mean, here's the thing, right? There's you're only gonna be as good as the values you throw at the table. I very much am a practice how I play kind of guy. And while I was active, I didn't play that at all. I'm
Mm,
cool. I'm out. My job's not on the line. My career's not on the line. So I'm macho. I mean, that was the whole thing. Like, I would like the people were just dropping like fives just for association. I was like, nah. It's like I'll drop you right now.
yeah,
I'm not losing my career over some happy fun haha times
right.
because my luck doesn't work that way. The dice don't roll for me that way. Like for other people, they towed the line and they made it all the way through. They're good. You know what?
Yeah.
The dice love you.
You know how they
My
always have
karma's
those
instant.
statistics
They're like,
one out of.
yeah, no, mine will be like, boy, you ain't never done a damn thing like this in your life. What the hell are you doing? Hey, I'm gonna find you a snitch right now. Hold on.
Let me check you one time.
I'm gonna find you a snitch right now. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, this one right here. Yeah. You know what he was doing? What I saw him doing? Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't care how close he was to getting out. Rules is rules. But that there was a guy who was 20 years. 20 years did it, right? Put in his final thing, his final week. They drug tested him. He popped positive, smoking, took away his retirement. 20 years of your life
Gone.
to the force gone. So you damn right.
Literally blown away.
I was not, yeah, thrown it all away. No retirements, no benefits, no nothing. Have fun with that divorce because that's for sure happening.
Got that ass. Oh,
Like that. So yeah, you best believe I wanted nothing to do with anything. Like I'm gonna go all the way through, and then as soon as I'm out, cuckoo, choo, what's up? Um, But no, a lot. Plus, I had that energy as it was that people already thought that anyway.
yeah. Same here. Like, I was so chill. They're like, "Do you?" Nah.
It was like,
I'm
no. Now someone's like, "Do you?" Like, hell yeah.
Yo, man. Just to wrap up the topic here, cause I gotta go spend some time. Um, you have so we pretty much gone all the questions that I wanted to ask. We pretty much gone over it naturally. So, do you have any like final tips or words of wisdom to give to the viewers for anyone who's struggling to stay self motivated, stay self affirmed?
Yeah, it doesn't always have to come from yourself, and that's it's something that a lot of people say, but not a lot of people like want to elaborate more. I guess. Um, if you're lacking motivation from anything, they don't even have to be human for you to find it.
Ooh,
It doesn't even have to be alive
ooh,
for you to find it, to be honest. I've been motivated by watching ants. I've been motivated by looking how hard a, mother working 2, 3 jobs and still taking care of her kids by herself. Like I hear stories like that, and I tell myself, "Shut the fuck up, get my shit in gear." Like the fuck I'm complaining about.
yeah, humble.
What the hell? You telling me? I'm complaining about. Like that should motivate me. They motivate me. People every day motivate me, even when I don't want to do anything. Sometimes people motivate me to do nothing, and you need that sometimes. All you workaholics about to work yourself on the ground, find somebody to motivate you to do nothing.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying make a habit of it. I'm saying like try something simple, like an hour. Try an hour. Let somebody and make sure you find the person that you're okay with them doing it. Find somebody that's going just let your mind reset. Let them talk. Shoot, work around them while they talk to you. Make sure you're doing some of the type of work that you're not going to get all upset, while they're talking to you because it's distracting.
Oh, okay.
No, nothing like that. Because you are, the workaholic. You need to do something, but anything. How many times have we taken for granted doing the dishes with our spouse or girlfriend or loved one if we have one, even our kids if we have, because we work so much and we're so tired. But you do it all, it takes half an hour, and you do it with them,
Ooh,
and that's your reset right there.
because man, does that not strike that's a good way to start conversation. Even if you're not
Right
verbally
there.
communicating, you're communicating um through a process, through a system. You wash, I dry. That's communication.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And uh, one more thing here. I had said earlier because I posted for anyone to share their thoughts to add into the
Yeah.
stream. Well, my brother,
Heck yeah.
older brother, he had mentioned asking, "What's the meaning of life to you?"
Ooh.
For all the viewers, to with you being a guest here, I'll answer as soon as we separate. But for
Mm.
you, what's the meaning of life to you?
Meaning of life. I think the meaning of life to me is to truly, and I mean truly, use your free will. Like, if that's something everybody is, for some reason on the planet, almost on the same page about, right? Use it and try not to let everything else that's essentially, you know, helping you along be the peg that doesn't let you come up. Because at the end of the day, that peg's stopping you from using your free will. My free will allows me to be able to think and interpret things how I want it to be interpreted. I can absolutely and wholeheartedly will get the right facts and stuff for it. But it's like, oh yeah, I see how everybody else is doing. I'm gonna go do it like this. Why? Because I get to go do it like that. That's why. For me, meaning of life is to be able to use my free will in the way that I choose to do so, and I enjoy it. It's like, hey, how come? Because it's my free will to do so. I'm not saying go crazy and all that stuff, like because everywhere you go, people got rules and this and that. But like like we touched on earlier, you are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to hang up. You are allowed to use your free will to do that stuff.
And even the free will of understanding when you have the ability to like use your right, be free. You know, like you just like understanding when not to let someone step all over you or incite a rule or thump a rule book on you when you don't feel like it's necessary. Like micromanaging, it's like if this isn't something that I'm supposed to do, let's not go there. Like if there's clearly someone else who this belongs to, you go ahead and direct your attention that way.
I will close out from me with saying again to everybody, y'all are doing a lot better than you think you are. And I will also tell them that for all my different types of listeners who are a little, a little hard headed, get that ass up. Mm-hmm. Go. I know y'all need it. Some people like all that long sweet talk, and some people just need to be told get out the ass and go. So go. This is me telling you to go. Why you
Yeah.
still here looking at me?
The only
Should
thing
have
I
been
could
gone.
think of when you said that was the Hodge twins.
Oh shit. Yeah. Man, we're gonna get TOS or something for that shit.
Oh man, let me go ahead and stop. All
I don't
right.
even. Oh Lord, that was the time, huh? Mm, mm. That's a different type of subject these days.
Hey, you know what? I'm doing free open discussion next month because in the
Oh
spirit of the
Lord,
Fourth of July, so we're gonna be
oh
talking about
Lord,
whatever.
it's gonna be. I feel like that's what I've been gonna be waiting for. Because I was just gonna be like, oh man, should they censor it? I don't know.
Next month, I know for sure next month we'll be having all the viewers rolling. It's just
Oh
gonna be a good
bro,
time.
it's gonna be. Oh my god.
Brother Shawn,
Oh man, brother Mike.
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. I really, again, once again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being who you and who you are. Thank
Absolutely.
you for always being my brother, man. If you are able to, we're gonna be back here on the 15th,
Let me see what day that is.
Thursday, the 15th.
Let me see what day that is. Hmm. Make sure I got a good schedule. Day after Flag Day. I think I can do that. Hopefully, I won't get called in or
Go
nothing.
ahead and pencil me in your Palm Pilot there.
I think I won't. I think I won't. Mm-hmm. Mike's bitches. Boom. Thought I wasn't gonna do it. All right.
You know,
Let me get out
I'll
of
be reminding everybody weekly. So,
here.
all right, everyone, uh, give it up for Shawn.
Hey, love y'all, man.
That was captivating, man, as always. Oh,
I was
we getting some heavy rain
bye.
tonight. That was some thunder.
Hey, you already know
Ooh,
what kind of weather that means for me.
that was.
All right, for real, I'm getting out of here. Later.
Nah, you good, bro. Take it easy, man. Love. So just to wrap up here, I because of how everything was just so kind of chaotic today, I took no notes physically, but mentally, oh yeah. So let me go ahead and construct a little motivational push for the month so we can follow up on the week 3. So as I was stating earlier, when we first started the stream, week 1 will be laying the groundwork on the topic of choice, letting everyone share their experience. Week 3, which is no, the third Thursday of the month, we do a follow up. Let anyone share. With that follow up, I wanted to provide a motivational push to kind of like homework, so to speak. You know, kind of give you something to work on, see if it helps. I'll also be applying it to myself. Get to bed. Bed. So I'm going to be constructing that here, but just kind of go over a few things that everyone was speaking of. I know we all didn't get to hear Nick speak, but he was giving some insight on his struggles with school. He had to take a different approach on how to succeed. So he initially wanted to get into education, but ended up in social work. Yeah, he does social work, but he's not a social worker because that requires a specific license or certificate. Why he doesn't have that, or if he's in the process of that, uh, congrats to him. But that, and then also he was also sharing that with working so much and having to apply responsibility at a young age, you get to a point, and I really understand where he's coming from on this. A lot of you may as well. When you're young and you're thrust into responsibility, wherever that may take you, you miss out on a lot of what everyone else is doing around you. So when you finally get that breath of fresh air to finally start enjoying life, you tend to do things that you've always wanted to do, or you do things that you never thought that you would. And he started by going to country concerts, the phone party one that he had, which I'm sure was fun. Um, you start finding outlets to really soothe your soul. And it's very, very important. I had to learn that. I was being told to do that. I didn't apply it until late. And I wish I would have done so, but I'm glad I'm doing it now. I'm not missing out on any more that I want to. Like, I'm able to assess myself. Um, and it's healthy. Like, I feel so much better as a person now. And it also helps with being able to pursue my career, pursue my passion. Um, Again, as I said earlier, you gotta remove that clutter. You gotta be able to move that clutter mentally and emotionally. And once you do that, you just open the doors for opportunities of being able to enjoy yourself genuinely, enjoy others genuinely, and also, you know, you have clarity with picking and choosing your next step in life. Um, Shawn, as he was able to share, you know, again, so grateful to have him on, and he shared. He's been vulnerable for us to understand that there is still hope with dealing with loss and taking another loss from the family, and then also having to, re-experience some of that pain with an anniversary of a loss beforehand, and then this it seems like the year is heavy emotionally. It's draining. You almost end up feeling numb by the end of the year just to understand that another year comes. But you have to think positively. Take that from me. Like I used to think that way, but now it's like I'm aware on the specific dates are coming up that really affected me. That I was hurt or really dealt a blow. And I look at it differently now. Like with my brother's passing, I look at it like he did a lot in his life. I was a lot for him. We were a lot for him. I think he enjoyed family, but he just wasn't able to. I can't speak for him honestly, but I know he enjoyed family because I went back and looked at some old pictures and photos that I had gotten off his phone. And he was really in love with his niece and nephew. Um, and I mean, we all struggle, but like we all hold our family near and dear to our heart, and sometimes that just doesn't go away. So, um, when I would hit those moments, I just had to rethink. I had to rewire my brain and my heart to kind of understand the upcoming dates would event that would that were hurting me, but would eventually no longer hurt me. I allowed myself to understand celebration and really take in the memory of the people that I've lost. You know, I feel like there was a lot learned today. I'm feeling very confident about it, even though my day was kind of chaotic. um, Here, I wanted to give a kind of like a motivational, like just a motivational homework here. Let's see. We learned how to cope. We learned how to, instill motivation within ourselves. For instance, notes I took beforehand: isolation, self-care, self-affirmation, doing research, proper planning, acting in the moment, just making any self-reminders that you see fit. Uh, oh yeah, go ahead. Like Sean's got an idea. Viewer mail. What that is? Because not everyone is comfy coming up. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. So send it in. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me write that down. Okay. So, wow. Yeah. Nice idea. Nice idea. Allow for kind of like how we were doing with the Facebook thing, but they could also email the account. Word. Like anonymity. Anonymous. I'll just say anonymous. Most of you should segments that right often questions. That's an amazing idea. So let's see here. Something that we could apply. Gotcha. Well, respect to the podcast that you got the idea from, but also respect to you for, seeing it to be a good asset for us as well. Thank you. So let's see. What's a good send off? So, something to try to apply. See if it works for you. Uh, okay. Here is this. If you're feeling down, feeling like you need someone to talk to, if you're feeling kind of out of place, you just feel like low energy, low vibration, um, talk to yourself out loud. Have an actual conversation with yourself, even if you have to respond to yourself. Like playing chess, like it's like being able to play chess with yourself. Go flip on the opposite side of the board and respond. Don't respond how you want. Respond how you feel like you need. Uh, Whether it be recording it, video, and then answering the questions, give you time to answer those questions and go back, you know, make daily affirmations. Or even, as you're getting ready for work in the morning or the day, talk to yourself in the mirror. Like, give yourself a few minutes. I'll also be doing this too to see if, in moments of low vibration, low energy, see if I can, because what I've been doing, and this is actually a good idea. When I'm frustrated or angry, I tell myself I need to speak it aloud. But if I just need to get up and walk, and just kind of like, awesome. Okay, yeah, we'll think of a name here in a second. Let's see. So yeah, like let's go ahead and do self affirm. So if you're feeling low vibration, low energy, let's have a talk with yourself. Whether you got to get in the mirror, whether you got to record yourself on your phone or on your laptop, or whether you got to make an audio recording and just have a conversation with yourself. Get comfortable being able to talk with you, because if you can talk with you, you know what you want. You know what you would like to seek in life moving forward. If you can get comfortable talking to you, you can talk to anyone else. You also understand how you would like to be spoken to, which, goes into self love, self care, self affirmation. You will understand whether or not to keep yourself in an environment or to remove yourself. You'll understand to keep yourself, at a distance from people, or if you want to get closer to people. A lot of that is just going to open doors when you self affirm, and I'm going to do that too. So, what we're going to do until June 15th, we're going to self affirm. Uh, you know, start with moments of low vibration. If you don't see that you're having a lot of that or none at all, challenge yourself. Talk to yourself, self affirm just out of nowhere. If you're not doing anything, if you're bored, or if you're just on your phone scrolling, knowing you should be doing something else, go ahead and put that phone down and say, all right, let's talk. You may feel silly, but you don't. I know that may sound easier said than done, but it's you talking to you. If you can talk to other people, you can talk to yourself. If you feel weird about talking to yourself, then you're not really having conversations with people that you're talking to. You are a person. You can talk to yourself. It's all right. You're not weird. Cause you know what it is? If I didn't have people like Shawn and Nick, and if I didn't know I had viewers, I'm talking to myself right now. Just because I got a mic and camera doesn't mean I'm talking to anyone. No one's around me to hear me right now. I got viewers. That's how I know I'm not talking to myself. But when I started it, I had no views. I had to talk to myself. Some people don't have an inner voice, but that's why we got them. You gotta true. You gotta be able to unlock that. And you know what? Be your inner voice. Speak out loud. Hey, how you doing? One thing I learned from a Netflix show, Stutz, directed and featuring Jonah Hill and his therapist, Stutz. He had said something that really stuck out to me, is that if you have an inner darkness or inner toxicity, inner demon, I guess, Instead of running away from it, instead of shying away from it, ignoring it, you need to acknowledge it. Give it a name. You got to make it real so you can understand how to control it. So if you don't have an inner voice, if you don't feel like you can talk to yourself, make yourself real in front of yourself. Talk to a mirror. Put your phone up, flip the camera so you have the front camera showing. Talk to yourself that way if you don't want to do it in the mirror. A lot of people do TikTok videos in their car, so they're already talking to themselves. Do that. If you're feeling comfortable in your car, do that. If you feel comfortable in your shower, hold it out. Don't drop it. Talk to yourself. If none of that helps, talk to yourself as you're going to sleep in the dark. As you're nodding off, so the conversation doesn't have to last. But you may just end up having a conversation in your dreams, and you'll be able to decipher that when you wake up. I don't know. These are just ideas. Yeah. Telling people monthly when they believe I'm talking to them. Now I'm just talking out loud. Do it. Yeah. You got to be able to talk out loud because you can be your biggest supporter or you could be your biggest downfall. But how are you going to know that if you don't even know your own voice? You can't have a voice if you don't know your own voice. So self-affirm. I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll go ahead and we'll touch back on it on June 15th. We'll shoot for 6. Since I know how to get all the audio taken care of now, we'll shoot for 6 p.m. again. 2 years, I'd say things that people like. Did you tell them how handsome I was over and over until I had no doubt in my mind I was because I didn't feel like it? Third time's the charm. Yeah. And you know what? When you're self-affirming, if you don't want to like have a conversation, just compliment yourself. Oh, you got nice eyebrows. You got a nice smile today. I like your shirt. You ate well today. You walked this many times without being told what to do. Like, you got to give yourself a pep talk. You got to give yourself compliments. Shawn's been throwing great ideas left and right in the chat here, showing me up on my own stream. No, I'm just playing. It's just whatever it can that can help you. And I would also like to know when we follow up, what helped you? What about today? What about today and this video helped you out? I want to know. Um, oh, and then just to I had glasses too. To answer my brother's questions from the Facebook post, Corey asks, "What's the meaning of life to you?" It's crazy to think that one question is a stumper. Like it's the one thing that we really can't honestly answer because that meaning can change at any moment. And I ever since I asked Shawn, I've been trying to answer that myself. Yeah, you can't really answer that until you're done. So there's no meaning because it's not finished. Wow, so wise. I think the meaning that I can only understand is that everything is energy, energy is everything. That's the best answer I can give you right now. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. Take it how you want to, take it how you can. Research it. Do what you got to do to accept it, but I mean, you accept it or don't. But that's the answer I can give. Um I've been really getting into understanding energies and vibration. Like I've known to be an empath, but like to be able to allow myself to not be tainted or bothered or controlled by someone else's energy or vibrations. Like I understand that it's there and it's present, but I don't let it I don't let it protrude into me and I'm not protruding into anyone else. So yeah, that's what I got. All right, so another successful episode of BAFSAF. This is Mike Ham. And again, if you ever feel lost, misunderstood, or just need someone to talk to, we're here for you. Hit up the socials, our Twitch channel. We got a Twitter. We've got Facebook. Everything's in the bio. I'll go ahead and I'll be sure to have like a little button here or here that always has the social pages up, so you don't have to go searching in the bio. I'm constantly adding to this stream channel. I actually like it because I like being able to build this kind of stuff, like adding this midstream. Cool, right? But thank you again for everyone who's been supporting us. Again, like we had 37 views on the last video. Let's double it. If you feel so inclined, spread the positivity, spread the love, spread the word of who we are, what we got going on here. I can't do this alone. I got you guys to help, and I got you guys to thank. So don't don't have me play my theme song out on this. It drives me out of my mind.
Oh, brother, this
I'm
guy
over here playing around.
stinks.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce up on out of here. Love everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you around.